Hello, everyone. Hello, Bounce Back PH community, and we are back. I hope that the morning segment of our first year anniversary celebration shed light on where we are today and how we are going way forward. Sobrang saya, sobrang momentous ng mga pinag-usapan this morning, and we did have great speakers and very valuable panelists to shed light and covered three aspects for the morning. Allow me to share with you what happened in the morning. The first one is there were current scenarios shared, trends that emerge in MSMEs, and stories of resilience among entrepreneurs like me and volunteerism work. We also covered three-letter P's. We need to find our purpose about helping, our passion for projects, and always paying it forward. And ultimately, my dear community members of Bounce Back PH, we encourage one another, stand up and rise up. Alam nyo po, ang pinakamagandang experience ko being with Bounce Back PH every now and then and being voluntold by Mr. Samacoba and Jason De La Rosa is really praying for each other. Really, aside from helping, aside from paying it forward and giving back to the community, what I love about this community is they pray for each other. And that's what you call rising above the challenges. As we move to the afternoon, let us anticipate Thanksgiving for volunteer partnerships, women communities, and deepening our entrepreneurial roots. So, are you ready? I think we are ready. Now, to start about this afternoon session, let us just hear the state of technology in the Philippines, focusing on ICT updates on MSMEs. And let us welcome and listen to the video message of our DICT Secretary, Senator Gregorio B. Honasan. Let's tune in to his message.
Secretary Ramon M. Lopez of the Department of Trade and Industry, Undersecretary Blesila A. Lantayona of the DTI, Undersecretary Elaine Pascua of the Department of Education, Secretary Bernadette Romulo Puyat of the Department of Tourism, Dean Pax Lapid, Senior Mentor of Bounce Back Philippines, Ms. Martha Sazon, President and Chief Executive Office of MYNT, Ms. Ana Aboitis, Union Bank, Mr. Jason De La Rosa, Mr. RJ Ledesma, and Mr. Rack David, entrepreneur, founder, volunteers, distinguished guests, our hosts from Bounce Back Philippines, colleagues in government, partners from the private sector, members of the entrepreneur community, friends, ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant morning to you all. Helping our micro, small, and medium enterprises, or MSMEs, bounce back from the challenges brought by the pandemic is key to the country's economic recovery. According to a 2021 report from the Asian Development Bank, MSMEs account for 99.5% of the total number of enterprises and 63.2% of the total workforce in the Philippines. Because of this, MSMEs play a truly critical role in our objective of revitalizing the economy. As much as we rely on the MSME community for economic recovery, they also need our assistance in recovering from the operational slowdown and financial damages caused by COVID-19. We need to help them implement adaptive business measures to thrive despite the physical limitations of community quarantine. This is where information and communications technology, or ICT, factors in great. Your Department of Information and Communications Technology, or DICT, recognizes the positive developments in the current ICT landscape that improved our competitiveness in the global digital economy. For connectivity, the Philippines displays a steady growth, as recent figures from the UCLA Global Speed Test Index show an upward trend towards improved average internet speeds. However, there remains a lot of room for development if we are to be on par with our Asian neighbors. Indeed, the challenges brought by the pandemic exposed the vulnerabilities of our society in terms of digital access. These vulnerabilities are not new issues, but existing social inequalities, such as the digital divide, that demand recalibrated solutions. To ensure that our MSMEs pull through the current challenges, we are aware of the need to address these gaps that hinder our drive towards inclusive growth and innovation. DICT stands in full support of improving the national, regional, and local economic landscape through the implementation of various initiatives to help innovative businesses and industries thrive in a global digital economy. With this, we recently adopted the CHIP conceptual framework: connect, harness, innovate, and protect, that aims to systematize all our existing initiatives under a central objective. Under the CHIP framework, we shall improve efficiency by aligning goals with available resources. Under the connect component, we are focusing on improving digital connectivity and access by building and enhancing digital infrastructure in the country. Our goal is to provide quality internet services that can meet the connectivity needs of our citizens. Connectivity would allow MSMEs to digitize and use online platforms to conduct business, manage work remotely, reduce physical operational costs, and leverage online markets to drive growth. For the harness component, DICT invests in capacity building for ICT and ICT-enabled industry professionals. Our Digital Jobs PH program offers various tracks of free online technical training for workers and entrepreneurs of MSMEs to boost skills development. Our Tech for Ed and Digital Workforce program also provide various upskilling activities that help Filipinos start their own businesses, get an education, and gain productive employment. These efforts aim to accelerate the digital transformation of local communities by preparing our Filipino workforce to engage in ICT-based jobs and industries, bridging the existing skills gap between manpower and the advanced demands of the global digital economy. We are constantly improving our capacity to discover untapped potential within communities with little access to resources and opportunities. We believe that by empowering more Filipinos, our country will have more chances to discover the next big breakthrough in business technology and science. Under the Innovate component, DICT focuses on the continuous digitalization and integration of government and business services online, pursuant to Republic Act 11032 or the Ease of Doing Business and Efficient Government Service Delivery Act of 2018. Last January, we launched the Central Business Portal, or CBP, Phase 1, which helps make the business registration process easier by allowing businesses to apply for the necessary government permits online. This eases the burden and costs for aspiring entrepreneurs, helping foster a more conducive environment for starting a business. The ICT likewise commits to supporting the objectives of the Innovative Startup Act or Republic Act number 11337, together with our colleagues from the Department of Science and Technology or DOST and the Department of Trade and Industry or DTI to help our MSME community once again drive the engine of growth for our country's economy. To this end, DICT is implementing programs in coordination with government agencies and private sector partners that will hopefully motivate better investment and business expansion in the countryside, like the Digital Cities 2025 program. We are developing 25 new locations that will serve as innovation centers to help selected cities grow their industries and labor markets. This program aims to develop a thriving economic environment in new locations outside of the national capital region. And finally, under the Protect component, DICT continuously promotes cybersecurity in our quest for digital transformation. We are working towards building a more secure and resilient cyber landscape to ensure that our citizens, businesses, and government can pursue growth and development without worrying about risks and dangers. With MSMEs playing a crucial role in our collective efforts to recover from this crisis, the ICT commits to support interagency initiatives, policies, and programs focused on helping the sector bounce back from the shock of the pandemic. Through our various programs, we shall continue to create an enabling business environment, coupled with an adaptive workforce that can use ICT as a powerful tool for socio-economic development. As we go forward, the ICT will continue to future-proof its programs, reforms, projects, and initiatives to ultimately benefit our most precious and strategic and renewable resource, our children. Thank you, mabuhay, and God bless.
God bless you. God bless you, Senator Gregorio Honasan, for that wonderful video message. Allow me to recap the salient points of our secretary. MSMEs need our help to revitalize their entrepreneurship spirit. But we need to remain competitive despite the pandemic. So we need to know the gaps and the challenges, ang mga balakid sa buhay ng mga MSMEs. And from there, we have to assist MSMEs in creating innovation. Nabanggit din po ng ating speaker and esteemed leader ang CHIP framework. Ano ba ang CHIP? C stands for connect, H stands for harness, I innovate, and P protect. That is what you call the CHIP framework. Connectivity would mean managing work remotely and not being afraid of virtual access. Harness is about capacity building and continuous learning at very active ang Bounce Back PH dyan pagdating sa learning and development. And the third one is innovate. We have to think outside of the box and create online breakthroughs that matter. We should always be proud of our stories. This morning, may mga breakthrough bounce back stories tayo. Ang gaganda ng mga stories nila about innovating. And of course, the last on the CHIP framework is protect. Ensure that we have a way forward during this crisis-centered environment. All in all, my dear friends, MSMEs play a crucial role in this COVID-19 crisis environment. At kaya nga po nandyan po ang Bounce Back PH na ngayon ay may over 1 million members, followers na sapagkat yung tulong na naibibigay natin sa MSMEs. Yan po ang matinik na mensahe ng ating DICT Secretary, Senator Gregorio B. Honasan. Right? Para po sa mga nanonood sa atin, please type a word or phrase kung ano ang pinagdadaanan nyo ngayon, kamusta kayo ngayong araw, and just type a word that will express how you feel moving forward in our afternoon event. Happy birthday to our Bounce Back PH community. 1-year-old na po ang ating community with over 1 million members. As we move forward, ang focus ng susunod nating kabanata is really to share the learning, enablement, and empowerment initiatives of Bounce Back for its community members as part of the Digital Bayanihan Initiative. And we will cover also something related to data privacy scholarship guidelines. Okay, handa na po ba tayo? So to kickstart our afternoon, may I welcome, pwede na natin siyang ilabas sa front stage. Alam niyo naman po ang teknolohiya ng StreamYard. Meron tayong backstage, meron tayong front stage. And I am super excited to learn and hear Mr. Paulo Tibig, the CEO of vCargo Worldwide. Okay? So as we are waiting for his presence now, I want to recognize that, I'm not only in this journey alone. There's more than 50 volunteers behind me doing this event right now. Okay? And so again, I will also encourage you, if you are watching live, and I know that a lot of people will watch replay. Can you please send your questions or comments or clarification on our Facebook Live? So sana po hindi ninyo ma-miss ang dami nating panelists today. All right? And Mr. Sam Hacoba, ang mahilig mag-voluntold, na voluntold ka ng mga volunteers mo sapagkat magmo-moderate ka mamaya ng multiple panel. All right? So when Mr. Paulo Tibig is ready, anytime, please come in. All right? I was just sharing with Gibbs.
Wala.
Napakagaling ng time management natin, no? Ang aga. Ang aga ng kabanata mo, Paulo. Hi, Sir Paulo. Hi, Paulo.
Oh my God, naghang.
Nangyayari po talaga ang naghahang. Sige lang. Bibigyan
Hello,
natin ng
hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Paulo.
Hello. Wait lang. Dali lang. Audio. Hello.
Sure. Sige po. Walang problema. We will give you time to settle
Hello,
down.
sounds? Wala. Tanggalin na kaya natin.
Yes. Hi, Sean. Would you like to do another tech check in backstage for Sir Paulo? Ang pag-uusapan natin sa segment ni Paulo Tibig is really sharing about learning and enablement, pati na po ang empowerment initiatives ng Bounce Back for its community members as part of the Digital Bayanihan Initiative. And with the leadership of Paulo, he may also share something related to data privacy scholarship guidelines. Okay? Now, para po sa mga nanonood sa atin, no, like what I said, based on my experience doing virtual moderation, it's one thing to have live audience, but it is another thing to have thousands of audience in the replay. So I would like to encourage you, share the link, all right? Share the link, click it, and share it with your friends. A lot of people would benefit from the multiple panels that we are preparing today. Panels among entrepreneurs, panels among women, all right? Take note, connected women, women supporting women, and of course, panels about different other stories. Sige po. Namimiss ko tuloy si Sir Nato, ang aking partner ng morning. Ang tanong ni Nato sa akin kanina, JV, ano ba ang memorable experience mo sa Bounce Back PH? I will have to admit na I am not as active as the other volunteers a while ago, no? Like Maggie and Rach and RJ and JP. Pero meron akong isang memorable experience sa Bounce Back. Ito yung parang wala na yatang mahanap na moderator si Mr. Sam Hacoba at tinawagan niya ako kung pwede daw ako mag-moderate ng home essentials. And sabi ko, what do you mean by home essentials? Helping people at home set up their work from home, and also doing how to clean the house, how to sanitize the house, and what kind of reliable suppliers we should go to when we are managing the household. Kakaibang topic, no? Pero wag ka, hindi kayo maniniwala. Nako, libo po ang nanood ng session na yun. At sabi ko nga sa sarili ko, sobrang daming supporters po ng Bounce Back PH. Alright, so Sean Hacoba, alright, ang right hand ni Sam Hacoba, ang sidekick niya sa tech. Kapag ready na po si Sir Paulo, ilabas na po natin siya sa front stage. Sige po, while we are waiting for Sir Paulo, yes, I understand. While we are waiting for Sir Paulo, kung nandito si Nato, ang aking partner, siguro magbabalik tanaw ako dun sa discussion kanina, yung mga memorable experience natin. Kasi kanina, nabanggit na there was a time na pag magpo-post sila ng mga supplies and donations, itatap sila ng Facebook just so they know, they are safe. Just so, they would be aware and conscious of what they're posting. At sabi nga namin, okay lang yon kasi dumadami ang viewers, dumadami ang supporters just for compliance and guidelines. Okay? So with that, I will bring forward, hi Sam. Hi Sam.
Yep. How are you?
unahan ko na si Bro Paolo kasi hindi kami
May-
nakapag-viral yan eh. So,
May virtual tech glitch. Sige po, Sam.
yes.
So far, Sam, you've been on top of this event even with Jason. So far, what are your observations as you guys were preparing for your first year anniversary?
Purposely, JV talaga initially sabi ko kila Jason, oy, bakit na lang kami? Kasi di ba, pagka nasa bahay ka, para minsan ayaw magkayos, di ba? Gusto mo lang nakaano ka. So, and ay, ready na yata si Bro Paolo. Pao, wanna go or ano, I'll go ahead na. Do you need more time pa? Oh, teka. You can add into the stream. Brother Pao.
Yep.
You wanna go ahead or no? I can...
Sige, go ahead. Sige, diretso mo muna. Sorry, yung audio kasi nagkakaproblema. But I'm good. Dito lang ako sa backstage.
Pati nga si Senator Honasan, nagkaproblema yung video audio niya, bro.
Tama. Totoo yun.
Napanood ko kanina umaga. Sige lang, go ahead. I'll just be in the backstage
Thanks, bro. Salamat. Bro, nasa Bataan ka ba? Nasa Bataan ka ngayon?
Yup. 1 year na.
Si Brother Paolo, pagka nasa Bataan yan, ako, ang sarap ng mga isda dyan, di ba, bro?
We will have Paolo back, and sabi ko sa iyo, Sam, meant to be yan talagang entrepreneur competencies. I was encouraging Sam last night na talagang ipakita na niya. Pero ang sabi niya, ang dami daw lineup. Go ahead, Sam. Let's talk about entrepreneur competencies.
Yeah, thank you, JD. Maraming salamat. Magandang hapon po sa inyo. So, hindi nyo ako nakikita madalas kasi nga saka si Sean kasama namin, kami nagpa-pilot kila Jason, kila Nato, kila Brother RJ, sila Jelix, etc. But ngayon po, haharap ako sa inyo. I normally present dun sa corporate but this time we're going to share with you entrepreneur competencies. Kaninang maga po binanggit ni Dean Pax Lapid yung competencies and capabilities. So what we're going to share with you right now are the competencies that we have identified that all of us need, to be able to overcome the challenges of the pandemic. So sharing with you the slides now. Ito po. So, bago sa Philippines, in short, share ni Jason to. But he mentioned the flagship program. Yung nga po aming dream is to train 10 million entrepreneurs. Sama na natin displaced workers, repatriated OFWs, educators, and other people who needs to either upskill, either to shift in their careers or to pivot, or just to really to be able to be lifelong learners. Yung po ang goal ng Digital Buy-in Initiative. We would like to build the country's, digital human capital backbone. Ano po ba yung digital human capital backbone? Kung tayo po yung backbone natin or yung ating spine, di ba? Yan po ang nagpapatayo sa atin. Sa isang bansa po, katulad ng Pilipinas, it is the people who really make the country stand. Alam niyo naman po na kung gaano kahalaga ang ating mga OFWs, di ba? Sila po ay nagre-remit ng bilyong-bilyong dolyar sa Pilipinas. Alam niyo rin po kung gaano kahalaga ang ating BPO industry. Diba sila naman po ay nagdadala din ng kita dito sa Pilipinas. At ang pinaka-pangatlong pillar po natin, syempre, ating entrepreneurs. So puro tao po ang pillars na yon. Binubuo po yung tatlong pillars na yun natin, tayong mga tao. So sana po, pakinggan nyo to, yung aking isi-share sa inyo. Okay? So ito po yung ating community ngayon. This is based on the insights that we got from Facebook. 85% of us at Bounce Back are micro enterprises. Kanina, pinakita ni Yusek Bless yung amount of business that you need or the number of employees. Dito rin po, SMEs, small enterprises are 12%, medium are 2%, and the rest 1%. Yung 1% po yun siguro yun yung mga large enterprises na. We have more women than men sa Bounce Back. Kaya po mamaya, after yung session namin ni Brother Pao, meron po tayo women entrepreneur. Hintayin niyo po yun with Connected Women saka women supporting women. Okay? 61.8% are females in Bounce Back. Okay? Top cities po divided sa Metro Manila, Quezon City, Makati, Cainta, Pasig, and the rest spread all over the Philippines. Shout out po dyan sa mga Bounce Back regional groups, Cagayan de Oro, Davao, Cebu, Iloilo, pati po yung nasa Singapore, saka sa Malaysia, saka sa Dubai. So, marami po tayong mga small communities and regional communities. Industries naman po, 47%. Actually, nasa retail and wholesale, followed by food. So ito po yung ating breakdown, ito po yung ating komunidad sa Bounce Back Philippines. Tutuloy ko lang po. Ngayon, kanina sabi ni Jason was way forward, pero saan tayo pupunta? Where are we going? And where are we now? nasaan ba tayo ngayon, no? So siguro kayo nasa mga bahay-bahay, di ba? Or nasa cafe, di ba, na ingat lang yung mga nasa labas, okay, yung nanonood through the internet cafes, no? But ito po, sasagutin natin ngayon, where are we now? Yung pong una natin sasagutin, bago natin sagutin yung where are we going, okay? Are you still with me? Pakitype naman dyan. We are going to shine as one, okay? We are going to shine as one, okay? Tingnan po natin. If you've seen this study po, it's an annual study made by, I was at Intel Corporation before. I was handling the social media team of Southeast Asia, Intel. And this agency of ours, yung We Are Social, they created this really very interesting study. Every year po nilalabas nila to, and they look at digital worldwide, okay? And they analyze, what are the dynamics of each country. Makikita yung mamaya, we're going to drill down. Okay? Ipopost ko po mamaya yung link nito, sabi nito, I suggest you consume it. Kasi right now, the market is not the Philippines anymore. Okay? The market is the whole world. Okay? Ulitin ko po Our market is not the Philippines anymore. Our market is the whole world. Buong mundo. Okay? So, tingnan po natin ang global overview ng digital. Around the world, 7.8 billion people. 5.2 billion have unique mobile phone users, 4.66 billion internet users, and 4.2 billion active social media users. Ganong kalaki na po ang mga online sa kayong mga siyempre nasa social media. Makikita niyo mamaya, mas lalo siya nag-grow. Tingnan niyo po yung growth mamaya because of the pandemic. Okay? And then, this is the growth. So, yung total population growth natin worldwide, 1%. Okay? Ang baba din ng unique mobile phone user growth kasi marami na telepono ng mga tao. And internet users, ito po, 7.3%. More than 316 million people are able to connect. Okay? Year-on-year comparison between January 2020 and January 2021. Plus, tumaas din ang active social media users by 13.2%. 490 million people, okay, for the first time, joined a social media platform. So, ang laki. This is, I think, one of the effects of the pandemic na makikita yung mamaya. Okay, social media use around the world. Yan, very simple. Annual change, ito po yung nasa gitna. Sinasabing 490 million people who are new to social media. Marami pong dangerous. Makikita nyo mamaya sa panels natin, pag-uusapan dun sa panel, for example, kung bago ka sa social media, it has its inherent risk. Minsan po delikado. Kasi nga, maraming naghihintay, to hack. Yan, marinig natin mamaya, meron tayong mga expert cybersecurity professionals mamaya. Okay? Tingnan niyo po yung nasa kanan. 98.8%, okay? Access social media through their mobile phones. Kaya nga po, pag kami nagtuturo sa bounce back and then meron silang slides, sinasabi namin, dapat yung slides nyo, makikita yan ng isang nasa telepono. Kasi doon sila nag-aaral, doon sila nanonood. Okay? Kasi po ibang hilig yan, bullet points, ang liliit, gano'n. Sa pagka-bullet points yan, padala mo na lang sila ng PDF. Parang pwede na basahin. Pero as much as possible, one thought per slide, or ganito, marami kang charts para hindi ma-bore yung nanonood ng presentation mo or yung nag-aaral sa turo mo. Okay? Ito po yung growth. So, kung titingnan nyo, nag-taper up siya from 2018, 8.3% lang ang growth ng social media. Nag-decline siya in 2019, 7.2%. Until it kicked, again, almost na-double siya between 2020 to 2021. So, this is the effect of the pandemic. Okay? Similarly, ganun din sa spent time on the internet. Nakikita niyo, nagde-decline siya from 2017, quarter 3, quarter 3 2018, negative 2.5%. Okay? But, naka-rebound siya. Okay? Means more people went back online. Okay? And it's actually good, why this happened. Because people need to be connected because they cannot move. They have limited mobility. Okay, ito, paborito kong slide to. Kasi this is like averaging all of the countries, how much they spend time on the internet. Okay? Nasaan po yung Pilipinas? Yung global average yung nasa gitna, ayun yung puti. Okay? Yung Pilipinas po nandito. Number 1 po tayo sa time spent using the internet. Okay, kahit sabihin natin mabagal minsan mga ating mga internet connection, tayo po ang number 1 worldwide. Filipinos spend on the average, 11 hours per day connected to the internet. Okay? Nakagulat, no? It's like your waking hours na connecta ka, right? Tingnan natin ang social media. Okay, ganun din. Worldwide average, 2.25 hours. Pilipinas, doble, 4 hours and 15 minutes. Number 1 pa rin tayo. So we are the number 1 country in terms of internet connection time, 11 hours. Number 1 in terms of social media. Marami po implication to kasi nga, how do you spend it? Ngayon natutuwa ako na you're studying with us, nag-aaral kayo, and you're learning from our speakers. So, but there are other people, ibang ginagawa nila, di ba? Either nag-Netflix binge, although it's not too bad, di ba? Self-care ang tawag doon kasi nga you need to also take care of yourself. You know, but thank you for, using your internet hours to watch our anniversary gift to you. Okay? Salamat po. So, number 1 ng Pinas sa internet connection saka sa social media use. Okay? Ganito, this is how people spend their time, okay, during COVID-19. Marami dyan, nanonood ng movies, funny videos, etc. Yung green na to nasa gitna, how to tutorials, ito yung mga nag-aaral. Like new skills on YouTube, how to cook this dish, etc. How to fix this furniture, or how to fix the garden. Yung mga plantita yan. Diba? Matututunan natin yung iba't ibang variety. Si Miss JB Wong, yan, meron siyang W Botanica. Okay? Magaganda yung kanyang mga plants doon. And so on and so forth. So most of the activities, as you can see, are entertainment activities. Okay? Konti lang yung nagtutorial. Okay? And in fact, almost equaling male and female in terms of distribution and what people do online as an impact of COVID. Okay? So sa Pilipinas, drill down tayo. How's the Philippines? 110 million Filipinos. Okay? 150 million phones. Alam natin yan. So we have more phones or more smartphones than people. Internet users are 673 million, 67% penetration rate. Ang taas ng ating social media penetration rate is 80.7%. Okay? 80% of Filipinos are plugged into social media platforms. Okay, similarly, let's look at the growth. Population growth natin 1.2. Nag-decline ang ating mobile connections because of COVID. Okay? Like I myself, I downgraded my phone, but I upgraded my home internet. Kasi nga, bihira ka na lumabas, di ba? You don't need a high data plan, right? So, kaya ganyan nag-decline yan. And people probably invested more in laptops because yung mga anak nila kailangan ng laptops para sa bahay. Okay? But look at the internet users, 6.1%. But look at the growth of social media. 16 million Filipinos, okay, connected to social media for the first time. 16 million. Kasing dami nang bumoto sa ating presidente ngayon, right? So, device ownership of Philippines, yan, makikita nyo na. Okay? May mga impact po to. Pagka po, if you're planning a digital campaign, for example, you should plan for the device, that you're going to push your content to. Kasi napakahalaga yan. Pero tingnan natin, no? So, mobile phone, smartphone, 98%. Okay? 13.3% may feature phone pa rin. Bakit? Kasi sa probinsya sometimes, mas gusto nila yung walang, hindi smartphone. Okay? Even here, actually, I have friends who says na mas maganda yung analog phone. Mas maganda yung signal. Okay? 70% have laptops. Actually, very, very good. Di ba? Kasi it's both a productivity tool and a teaching tool for the students. Okay? Tablet, 30%. Streaming stick or device. Ito yung kinakabit sa kanila mga, used to be, not too smart TVs. Pagka kinabitan mo ng Chromecast or anything, nagiging smart TV na siya. Okay? Gaming consoles, 15% tumataas. Marami palang gamers sa Pilipinas. Smart home device. Ito yung mga Nest, for example, that monitors your temperature, etc. Wristband, and then virtual reality device. Bago pa lang po yung sinusuot na ganun para magkaroon ka ng virtual reality. 2.5% of Filipinos actually have those devices already. Okay? So, hindi nahuhuli ang Pinas pagdating sa device innovation. No? So, talagang may mga innovators sa atin and early adopters. Okay? So, next, spent on media. Ito yung ginagawa ng mga Pilipino. Okay? Time use, surfing the internet, called 10 hours. Ito yung ating global average, na number 1 tayo. Okay, time spent watching television broadcast and streaming, 3 hours, 30 minutes. Time spent using social media, 4 hours, 15 minutes. Reading online news, 1 hour. Okay, maliit lang. Okay, listening to music, 2.15. Kaya yung streaming services ng music are also experiencing growth. Okay, time spent listening to broadcast radio or podcast. Okay, so in the case of iOS, yung tinatawag Clubhouse is actually a form of this one. So yung broadcast radio. And then, podcast worthy, minutes and then time spent playing video game. Maraming games talaga on the lower right portion, 1 hour and 31 minutes. Okay? Mukhang mababa yan, if you ask Sean, kasi gamer si Sean. Okay, I'll now go to e-commerce use. Very quickly lang. So, kaya naman pag si GCash, kasi look at this statistics, right? So, only 34.5% of Filipinos are banked. Okay, na merong accounts sa financial institution. 1.9% has credit cards, okay? 4.5% has a mobile money account. I believe this is higher now. Yung 4.5% na yan. In our house alone, like there are 2 of us or 3 of us who use GCash, right? And 9.9% Filipinos are making online purchases, okay? Women with credit card, 1.4%. Persons with mas maraming lalaki ang may credit card. So I don't know why. Maybe mamaya tanungin natin sa women entrepreneur panel, no? But, persons of women make online transactions 11.5%. Kahit na mas konti ang credit card holders sa women, mas mataas silang bumili kaysa sa mga lalaki. Okay. Good. So, commerce activity, look at this one. Again, consume this study para malaman yung online purchasing behavior sa mga Pilipino. So, this is the age, this is not the age group, but this is like how they purchase, no? So, any device, 89%, okay? This is an online retail or store, talagang 87%, mataas. Across the board, napakataas talaga ng e-commerce adoption sa Pilipinas, okay? Ang pinakamababa lang yung purchase product online via a mobile phone. Nasa 60+% pa lang, close to 70%, okay? Look at the age group. Across the board, ang taas, okay? So, wala na sweet spot talaga ngayon. I mean, anyone who has a smartphone and who can, pay either COD, okay, or, pay through, of course, the online wallet, they can actually buy, your products online. Okay, so what we're saying here is that, again, really everyone's pivoted online, but we have to be conscious about these nuances, on how Filipinos spend their time online. So it's another category, very important. Ano ba yung mga kumikitang categories ngayon? So this is the commerce spend from, again, year on year. So mobility, accommodation, mataas pa siya, pero makita nyo mamaya. 3.1 billion ang total purchases. Okay? Fashion and beauty, 652 million, maliit pa lang, right? Electronics, physical media, 955 million, etc., and so on and so forth. I'll show you the changes on this one, okay? What's growing? Nag-decline syempre yung accommodation because the hospitality industry is one of the hardest hit in the travel industry. More than half, wiped out yung transaction there. But across the board, it's growing. Personal and food care, 64% growth. Okay? Toys and DIY hobbies, marami syempre yung bumibili ng mga board games or mga new crafts sa bahay, 47%. Digital music, up 41.1%. Okay? Video games, 30.8%. So, ang nagde-decline lang is actually travel, mobility, and accommodation. But the rest, everything is growing. So, kung gusto yung laro, I'm sure you're in food already. Okay? But the digital music, maybe in the future we'll have a session non-fungible tokens or NFTs. It's very, very popular now for digital-based products. Okay? So, I'm sharing this with you, this study also. I got this from Salesforce.com study on small and medium business profiles. They interviewed the SME leaders in the Philippines. And this just shows, again, if you are interested, I can also post to you the link. This is showing that a lot of business leaders or SME leaders are thinking of using CRM or a customer relationship management system that's automated. Why? Kasi if your database already reach thousands, if not tens of thousands, mahirap na siya i-manage sa lead generation. So especially now, if your customers are global, okay, and you'll see later there are privacy laws that protect each country. You need to be very, very specific on how you engage with the nationalities or the citizens of each country, especially on how you handle their data. So kailangan nyo ng CRM, kailangan nyo identity management, okay? And of course, kailangan nyo ng cybersecurity to protect all of your information system, lalo na yung data ng customers nyo, okay? I'll share with you another study. So this is from Salesforce.com. You can Google search this. It's downloadable. So small and medium business trends report. This one is from Cisco Philippines. This shows the digital maturity of the country vis-a-vis other countries in Asia Pacific. So thank you, IDC and Cisco. This is the 2020 Asia Pacific SMB Digital Maturity Study. So sinasabi dito that companies are investing in technology investments, may mga companies that are looking at artificial intelligence and analytics, 50% cloud, etc. But yung look at the center one, if you can see it, digitalization challenges. Okay, 19% of Filipino small and medium business don't know where to start. Okay, they're clueless on how to. Kasi nga, this pandemic really hit us, unexpectedly. And then suddenly you're faced with like moving your whole business, even your people online. 15% lack of commitment, probably because they don't have the budget, or they don't have the expertise, or they don't have the right people who will be helping them. And then 14% lack of talent, okay? Meaning they cannot manage their technology infrastructure well, okay, with their current staff, okay? But their priorities, of course, ito sa number 3, 26% wants to deliver better or improve customer experiences, okay? Definitely most of it online, right? And to improve operations and service delivery, so logistics, okay? And last but not least, improve sales and marketing. So again, these are challenges that this study has identified for the Philippines, and we are going to respond to it. So it's mentioned this morning that early on in Bounce Back Philippines, we held the World Cafe, in partnership with the Leo Castillo's team and si Janina. And from the findings of that, we really studied it and see how entrepreneurs can bounce back. And this, we believe, is one of the best ways to bounce back for us, to really embrace an online strategy for your company. Okay? So, what's next? Ito yung gagawin natin sa bounce back. I mention na kanina ni Jason, our founder, that we're going to go on phase 2, really. Fully activate the training and certification programs for Bounce Back Philippines. So, it's based on competencies. We mentioned we're also researching on your post on the pages. Pinag-aaralan talaga po namin, nakikita natin yung mga pains and challenges because we are entrepreneurs ourselves. And because of that, we were able to identify 12 core competencies that we all need. Una-una nga po yan yung personal mastery. Na kanina senior ni Dean Pax Lab, we really requested Dean Pax to deliver a masterclass on personal mastery. Because everything begins there. If we do not have a strong will, if we don't have grit, persistence, and of course endurance, etc., we won't be able to survive this pandemic. Okay, both for ourselves and for our businesses. Okay, so from personal mastery down the line, yung practicality, that's inspired by the book of Jason De La Rosa, The Practical Entrepreneur. We started and tested the pilot course of the Practical Coaching Series. Again, thank you for the 100 plus coaches who volunteered to teach. I think we're on our 26th episode before we paused first because of this, and we're recalibrating. Okay, and down there you can see, so after practical competency, ethics, business, technology mastery, legal, ecosystem, people, financial, marketing, sales, and creativity. We have all of these 12. There's actually more, but we selected all of these 12 because we believe these are the most important ones that we need to focus on right now. Okay, so for each of these competencies, we're going to have a coaching series. At the same time, we're partnering, you'll see later, we have some technology partners, and of course, our partner women entrepreneurs are going to share with us how they are helping their respective communities to bounce back. Okay, let's drill down now on technology. Okay, I'm from that industry, so and later on, the two panels, the second and third panels, are going to focus on this one. So we have identified several strands, as you call it, or sub-competencies. For example, micro and small and medium solutions track, okay? Cybersecurity, data privacy. We announced a scholarship program. By the way, for those who applied, we're going to respond to you starting next week on how you can go through the process. Okay, we postponed it a bit because of our anniversary program, but for the Bounce Back and NADPAP Data Privacy Scholarship Program, we're going to kickstart it starting next week. Okay, so hintayin niyo yung kanyang, those who registered on our registration form, just wait for an email. See how you can avail of it, okay? And so on and so forth, big data, data analytics. You will meet associations later from the technology industry and security industry and how they will be able to help us, all of us, on how to be really world-class technology professionals. And some of them may even bring in their own training and certification programs, siguro with a discount or probably with subsidized cost. But please wait for this one. If you want to pivot to tech, okay, or if you want to strengthen your company's technology, knowledge and skills, then please wait for this coaching series to happen. Okay, So that's it. JV, thank you very much. And si Brother Paolo has been, so very short lang. Again, I'll be at the back end later. I'll go back to help JV to moderate the session. Okay, maraming salamat po. And thank you again, China's One, Bounce of Philippines. Okay.
Maraming salamat, Kuya Sam. Kuya yan ang bayan eh. Alam niyo po, siguro just a little trivia, I knew Sam when I was working for Microsoft Philippines and he had his little island there for government and DepEd. Yung puso talaga niya pang public sector. And Sam, maraming salamat dahil tinulungan mo ring tumayo at magsimula ang People Ignite early 2000. So this is my public testimonial of how Sam is really able to help me, a few of his friends, and an entire community. Sama ko ba, maraming salamat.
Partners and learning friends all over the Philippines. Magandang hapon po.
Magandang hapon. My dear friends of Bounce Back PH, today we are commemorating the 1 year. 1 year na po ang birthday ng ating community. And Sam did mention of 3 points in relation to social and digital environment. No? Train and certify. Ang kanilang goal is to train and certify 10 million ANTRAPs, workers and OFWs. Herculean ang goal ng Bounce Back PH. Then he also mentioned social media education wherein Filipinos spending 11 hours per day connected to the internet. So, dapat yung 11 hours na i-google mo, i-google mo siya and use your time wisely. How? Tune in to Bounce Back PH sapagkat sandamakmak, okay, na initiatives, especially in learning and development, ang kanilang inihahain. Maraming salamat, Kuya Sam ng bayan. And part of kickstarting our afternoon, all right? And kanina nandito siya, and I hope, I'm crossing my fingers na okay na po ang kanyang technical setup. He did mention 3 points that you will witness in his talk. The first one is opportunity in crisis. The second is daring to be different. And sabi ni Mr. Paulo Tibig, the CEO of vCargo Worldwide, always up your antenna. Paulo, pasok.
Ayan, James. Ayan. Okay na ba? Kasi kanina, kasi si Sam nagmadali ako, nagkagulo-gulo tuloy dito, and then I think yung audio. But, kanina umaga, I was also monitoring. I think si Senator Honasan nga, yung kanya nagka-problema rin. Mukhang kay Dean lang hindi nagka-problema. Mukhang natakot kay Dean yung ating mga audio at yung ating mga internet connection. Yan.
Alam mo, Paolo, hindi naman kompleto ang virtual environment ng walang technical glitch. Hindi ako sanay na sobrang perfect. Sige,
tama.
Sir Paulo,
Tama.
bago ka mag-talk, no, alam kong handang-handa ka na. And I also want to recognize Gibbs, ang iyong right hand, preparing for your talk.
Maraming salamat.
My question is, kung ide-describe mo ang experience of volunteerism mo sa Bounce Back PH, what word is this and why?
Well, una, James, and I think alam ni Jason to. We've come a long way ni Jason. Siguro, parang kuya ko na rin yan. Kung kuya mo si Sam, kuya ko rin si Jason. Siguro mga 20 years ago na. And then, come to think of it, sabi nga natin, itong pandemic have parang nagbalik na naman, no, nag-reinforce yung ating mga pagkakaibigan along the way because of the need to help others, di ba? Parang ganyan. So, in my end, while in my company and also on a personal capacity, we have done a lot of things during this time, no, itong pandemic, simula nun hanggang ngayon. But one way na nakita ko with the community is that there's a need to help people. Alam naman natin, JV, alam mo to, we're into motivating people, we're into training people, and how do we use our platform? Parang ganyan. So, immediately after parang last year, to be exact, parang I talked to my team, yan, sila Gibbs and the rest, na anong gagawin natin to help our kababayans? And through Bounce Back, we have developed parang at least 3 free public webinars. Jason have supported it along the way. We spread the word about it. And, come to think of it, thousands of people have benefited with that. So, wag na nating i-consider yung mga donation, wag na nating consider kasi lahat naman, that would be our usual, Pero ang ginawa natin, parang in our case, about isa sa atin, meron kanya-kanya tayong advocacy, may kanya-kanya tayong platform. Paano natin gagamitin? And the crisis had shown that even though may maraming uncertainties, negativities, we can still work on and provide positivity with many people by doing and helping them out through our personal parang yun nga platform. So ganun yung James yung ginawa ko that time, and true enough until now naman in fact nagpartner din tayo with Bounce Back, yung aking isang online show every Saturday 7 p.m. na parang let's continue reaching out to people. And meron kami pinag-uusapan pa nga ni Jason and even ni Sam, pero siguro in the next eto baka may mga pagkakataon matuloy na rin yung mga yon, again for the benefit ng ating mga community members. And I think in a way also we do yung weekly until now. We always share a lot of insight, we share a lot of alam mo yon, motivational, whether in the form of blogs, in the form of features, articles, and so on. Kasi nga, alam naman natin, JB and the rest, no, kailangan continuous pa rin. The pandemic have not, alam mo, hindi pa rin tapos eh. The more so that yung dapat natin gawin dito, tuloy-tuloy pa rin siya.
That's right.
Yun.
Alam mo ba, Sir Paulo, naalala ko yung nag-moderate ako for Home Essentials. Parang May yun eh. And I announced the number of members. At that time, there were 70,000. Ngayon, nagulat ako na more than 1 million na ang members ng Bounce Back PH. So there is no time wasted here in our community. My dear
Oo nga.
friends, tune in to Mr. Paulo Tibig, the CEO of V-Cargo Worldwide, for his talk. Carry on, sir.
Okay, sige. So magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. Alam ko po napaka-iksi nitong ating pag-uusapan, but come to think of it everyone, anything that you can absorb at this point, please do so. And if you wanted to share this with all of your friends in your social media network, nagdiriwang po tayo ng unang-unang anniversary ng Bounce Back Community. Ito po ay para sa ating lahat. Ito po ay maliit man na negosyo, malaki mang negosyo, para po tayong ditong big brother doon na nagtutulungan ng bawat isa. Sabi ko nga na kailangan natin with so much things that is happening around us, we need to see more inspiration, motivation. We need to see more opportunities along that line. And Bounce Back, for one, will provide us with that. So I hope that if you're listening all over, watching all over, i-share nyo na. Kasi mula kaninang umaga hanggang mamayang hapon, marami pa po tayong matututunan dito. Okay, now, looking at and with the screen right now, everyone, it's, kung nakita nyo, ang nakalagay dyan, C2C. Ano nga ba yung C2C? Unang-una, hindi po iyan yung iniinom. Pangalawa, ano nga ba yung dalawang C? Ano nga ba yung 2? But sabi ko nga, ngayon po talaga, napakaraming nangyayari. And one of those kanina na napag-uusapan is about paano na tayo ngayon? With the current situation right now, if 2 months ago, if the first 2 months of pandemic, parang hindi pa rin po tayo, parang hindi nagsisink in sa atin. Yun nangyayari. Dapat, ngayon na halos 1 year na, to be exact, di ba, just a few days to be exact, ano na ang nangyayari sa atin? Have we worked on the things that we need to do? Nakita na ba natin na, hey, eto na, kailangan na nating sobrang hindi na nga move on eh. Dapat ngayon, I always tell people that at this point, dapat thriving na tayo. We have adapted already with what's happening with the abnormalities during the pandemic. Diba? Sabi nga natin, pre-pandemic, parang ano to parang naiba na ang mundo natin. And then, by way of doing so, diba, nasa liminal state na tayo. Liminal state, yung transition. We are in the state of transition right now. How will you transform at this point, making abnormal now new normal or better normal, sabi nga ng iba. Now, what's basically C2C? Talking about opportunities. The other day, we have seen marami na naman pong nawalan ng trabaho. And sadly, marami rin po nagsarang negosyo. Diba? Parang ano pa ang kailangan natin gawin? But remember everyone, there is something that we still can do. Look at this. C2C means crisis turns to cash. Yan. Now, I always love this principle, and I have been sharing this. In fact, in the best-selling book that I wrote, Strategies of a Champion Entrepreneur. Ito po yung unang-unang chapter. Itong unang-unang mababasa natin. That book was so many years ago. But look at this. during those times, ang pinag-uusapan lamang, if you wanted to get into business, ano ang pwede kong pasukan? And more so, ayaw kasi natin everyone yung gaya mentality. Gusto natin proactive perspective. Gusto natin yung tipong, merong pinag-uusapan dyan. Hindi ako pipila dyan. Hindi ako gagaya dyan kasi merong kakaiba dito sa akin. But nag-iba po ang panahon. Ito na ang krisis. Ang krisis ngayon, parang paano ako ngayon? Paano ako magsisimula? Kung kailangan ko mag-start ng isang negosyo? Paano ko i-level up kung meron akong existing negosyo? Paano ko titignan kung ako'y sobrang apektado ngayon? So, ibig sabihin, I always tell people about this, everyone, na the character of a true entrepreneur, lumalabas yan kapag ka push against the wall ka o kapag ka you are in crisis. Now, look at this, everyone. How do we develop crisis and turning it to opportunity or translating that into cash? Take a look at this very good example. When you go to Makati and Ortigas, di ba ang dami doon nakikita natin mga Jolly Jeep? Bakit nga ba tumaas ang pangangailangan sa Jolly Jeep? I remember, baka yung mga kasamahan natin dito, o baka kayo, you will agree with me, everyone, na di ba kakain ka doon sa jeep, papasok ka, nakapustura ka, gwapo ka, ang gaganda mo, and then pagdating ng tanghali, yung ka papasok sa jeep, tapos kakainan mo, platong, yung nito, kung alam niyo yung nito, yung parang walis tingting yun na ginawang plato, at lalagyan lang ng plastic, nandun na masikip na o kaya nakatayo ka, and then kakain ka. So, bakit nga ba nagkaroon ng ganon? Kasi yung mga taga Makati, mga taga Ortigas, naghahanap ng una, lutong bahay. Pangalawa, affordable. Pangatlo, accessible, pero ma-maintain yung social image. Social pala, yung social na image. So, ibig sabihin, yung crisis with that scenario, with that environment, nakita ng mga taga-Taguig at Pateros, wow, meron palang opportunity na crisis ng mga taong ito. So, what's the point, everyone? Ngayon, nagkaroon nun. Yung mga taga-Taguig, Pateros, dyan nakita natin, mga kakaibang ulam, lutong bahay, affordable na presyo, at accessible. So, ano ibig sabihin? Turning out, that crisis can really turn into something. Makikita nyo, nag-evolve along the years. Nakita rin ng LGU na Makati. Ano ginawa? Sa halip na jeep na, naglagay sila ng fixed structure, renta, pinaayos ang tao, binihisa ng tao, nagkaroon ng parang health sanitation protocol and stuff. So ano nangyari? Nagkaroon din ng opportunity out of that initial crisis yung LGU. Just one case that will tell you about things that we can look around and wait to see kung paano natin matuturn yung crisis. Sa panahon ngayon, we are in crisis. We have seen resiliency. Sabi ko nga, parang yung term, yung buzzword, sobrang overused na. Parang sobrang, alam niyo, nabibingin na tayo. But that's true. Pag sinabing resilient organization, resilient na individual, resilient company, what does it tell us? It's how we resist or absorb things happening around us. So in our case, if we are negosyantes, big or small, naipakita ba natin that in this crisis, you can change your business model, you can tweak your product profiling, you can work on with service solutions that you have, and you can see more opportunities rather than sitting down and be a typical negatrons. So ayaw natin nun, everyone. So ano ibig sabihin? The point here is about you can see that there is cash in every crisis. How does it work? Moving on with this, everyone. Moving on with this. This is an antenna. Ano nga ba ang gamit ng antenna? Ang antenna, unang-una, di ba? Ay, kung may mga naka-antenna pa po sa inyo, kayo na po ang sosyal. Yung mga naka-cable daw, ito na yung bago. Pero kung may naka-antenna pa sa atin, well, ito na po yung isang bagay na makakatulong sa atin. Paano nga ba? Ang antenna, alam naman natin, para mas maganda ang signal, mas marami kang channel na makuha. Pag inikot mo ng konti, tinaas mo pa ng konti, mas maganda pa ang reception. Tama po. Do you agree with that? I'm sure you agree with me on that. Now, looking at, ganon din po na pinag-uusapan natin, aligning this with that C2C principle. you have to up your antenna. That's my whole point here. Bakit? You have to up your antenna, katulad ng antenna pag-scan niya, opportunities can be seen, can be observed by scanning the environment very well. That's where yung mga successful entrepreneurs na naiiba dun sa breed ng mga losers entrepreneur. Bakit? Dalawa po ang klase ng entrepreneur. Isang may winner's mindset at isang may loser's mindset. And those people, sabi ko nga earlier, you have to be proactive perspective and have that perspective with what you want to ensure na meron kang advantage. So, ibig sabihin, when you up your antenna and you scan the environment, you'll be able to see what's in there. Example, ayaw natin na pare-pareho tayong magbebenta ng baked sushi. Ayaw natin pare-pareho tayong magbebenta ng ubi pandesal. Lahat na yata, ano nangyari? Lahat tayo naging culinary expert. Lahat tayo na naging master bakers. Di ba? Parang yan. At lahat din yata ay naging shopping cart masters. Tama ba? Kaway-kaway, iwagay-way ang mga kamay kung totoo, hindi yan. I'm sure tumatawa kayo ngayon kung nakikinig kayo o nanonood kayo. Kasi po yan ang totoo. So we don't want those na kailangan lahat tayo nandun. Ano mangyayari doon? Di ba? Wala na. So, paano ang gagawin natin? Paano ang gagawin natin, everyone? We have to up our antenna and really scan the environment using that antenna to ensure that you'll be able to see opportunities. Opportunities, hindi lang po kaching, 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 hindi lang pera. Opportunities wherein kung meron kang existing, what will you do with your existing? Pivot? Yes, okay, pivot. Adapt? Yes, adapt. Go ahead. Innovate? Yes, innovate. Go ahead. Nothing wrong with that. Everyone, the way to see is making sure that in any crisis you can still work on, and this crisis can provide you better opportunities along the way. How do you do that? Up your antennas and scan the environment. Now, moving on with this. When you scan the environment, this is the principle that I will always and will always share with you. If there's one thing in this short session, please, please, please remember this. You have to be the orange amongst the apples. Hindi naman po halata. Ay, hindi po ako naka-orange ngayon, Pero basically, that's my favorite color. Yan. Hindi lang po P ang nakalagay, Mahirap po pag P ang nakalagay sa likod ng orange color, pero P for Paulo. Yun po yung totoo nun. But anyway, everyone, what does it tell us? Look at the apples as your competition if you're in business. Kasi ito po ay applicable. This principle that I always love is, ang tawag dito, is a thing na dapat naintindihan. Parang, an apples, if you see, for example, sa isang basket na punong-puno ng apples, and then pare-pareho po yan. And look at them as your competition. Now, kung pare-pareho ang offering natin, pare-pareho ang solutions natin, ang services natin, pare-pareho ang product profiling natin, tell me, saan na tayo magkukompete? Magkukompete na lang tayo probably with the price. And that's the thing, that the least that we cannot, work on. Ayaw natin na puro presyo lamang. Remember, everyone, when you see an orange on top of these apples, it's like saying, how will you be different? The orange tells us about standing out. Standing out. You have to stand out. Meaning to say, how are you going to stand out from amongst the rest? Lalo na ngayon, pandemic, marami kang pinagbebentahan. Marami kayong pare-pareho. Pwede bang ang ubi mo pwedeng maging strawberry pandesal? Pwede ba yung ubi mo na pag kinagat mo, parang merong something that parang chocolate lava na lalabas or your typical cheese lamang ang lalabas? Tell me. We have to be the orange among apples. Look at this, everyone. All of us, and on the different contexts, an orange may be one just customer. And we, na nandun sa apples, are naglalaban-laban for that attention and the purchase of that one customer. How will you ensure that customer will buy you? O paano ka makakasiguro na bibilin at tatangkilikin niya ang produkto o serbisyo natin? So, the key here is about looking at the scenario wherein, example, na naroon ka sa isang dagat. Remember everyone, di ba, sa dagat, habang lumalalim, parang nagiging dark ang kulay. Pero ang totoo, hindi naman talaga dark yung kulay ng tubig. Dahil lamang habang lumalalim yung dagat at parang mas yung reflection ng kulay, kaya parang dark. Di ba? Ayaw natin yon. Why? Kuminsan kasi, nandyan yung mga shark. And the shark are looking for prey. Di ba? So ano ibig sabihin? Pag-aawayan natin, yung makakain kung parang ang competition natin is like sharks. So how can we move along that line? So ibig sabihin, katulad ng shark, pag nakakain sila ng prey, di ba? Kung isda, okay lang. Paano kung nakain tao? Wow, literally and figuratively, magpupula ngayon yung dagat. At pag nagpula ngayon yung dagat, ano mangyayari? Parang similarly, in our competition, nandun na lahat ang shark. Nandun na lahat ang competition mo. So how can you move away from the sharks, from that ocean na nagpula na? So what will happen? You have to go out. You have to remember that you need to have something that will differentiate you. You have to have that new concept wherein you create your own market space, you provide the value to your customers, and you provide that promise na kahit mahal ka ng konti, bibilin kita. So please remember everyone, we have to be the orange amongst the apples. If you will be not, then you will be just one apple who will competing against everyone based on price and based on, patronage. You have to remember, everyone, be the orange amongst the apples. Paano mangyayari yan? I'll give you some ideas, no? Eto, papakita ko sa inyo. Moving on. This is a diamond of a baseball game. Yan po diamond, di ba? May first base, second base, third base, fourth base. Palagi ko si Brother Sam, alam na alam tong baseball. Yung mga kuya natin to, sila Kuya Jason, alam na alam nila to. Hindi ko lang alam kung si Miss JB, alam ang gantong konsepto ng baseball. But basically, everyone, this baseball diamond tells us about what? Di ba? Para magkaroon ka ng score o magkaroon ka ng home run, agawan base, alam daw ni Sir Sam. O, parang hindi ko alam yata yung game na yan, Sir Sam, ha? Kasi di ba nung araw, ang baseball noon, pag sa mga iba't ibang lugar, nasa bukid. At ang bola ng tennis ball, tapos basta may pat-pat lang, game na yan, di ba? Yun ang laruan noon. Now with this, everyone, para makascore tayo, para maka-home run ka, you have to, kailangan madaanan mo yung first base, second base, third base, para nandun ka sa mound, para magkaroon ka ng score. Now, similarly, in our business, I always tell people in all my engagement with multinational FMCG, pharmaceuticals, iba't ibang industry, that you have to cover your bases. So ano ibig sabihin when we talk about covering our bases? Di ba, covering our bases tells us about you have to be there in every touch points of your customers. Hindi pwedeng nabenta mo, tapos na. Hindi pwedeng inayawan ka nila, tapos na. Hindi pwedeng nagreklamo na ayaw mo na. Iyon yung ayaw natin. Gusto natin for us to ensure scoring to our customers and clients, our trading partners. You have to value, you have to be with them as they grow. You have to cover their bases in all customers' touch points. How does it work? Basically, on touching them, the experience that they will have, whether you're in the product or service. How does it work, everyone? Moving on with this. Paano natin ma-ensure yan? To have the total customer experience, you need to have this FMOT and SMOT. Ano nga ba yung FMOT? Okay, papakita natin sa inyo. Quickly lang to, everyone. Matatapos na tayo. I hope you're learning. FMOT means first moment of truth. It is the principle wherein we wanted to obtain the attention at the point of purchase ng ating mga customer. So, ibig sabihin, how do we get the attention of our customers? By way of brand, the superiority of our product, the uniqueness. Remember how your product and service stands out from the rest. So yun yung kailangan natin. Kung hindi nag-stand out yan, para pang nasa shelving ng supermarket. Di ba sa shelving ng supermarket, ano nakikita natin? Palakihan. Pag multinational yan, palakihan ng spasyo yan. Paano kung maliit lang tayong player? And remember everyone, consumer insights tells us about what? Ano nakikita nila? Kapag ka nandun sa eye level, iyan po ang karaniwang binibilan. Kaya nga po, karamihan ng malalaking company nandyan. Paano kung di tayo, mali tayong player, maaring nando ka sa ilalim, baka nasisipa pa tayo, o maaring nando ka sa taas, na nahuhulugan pa tayo. Which is which? Yes, we cannot compete with them. So how will you develop your business model into such way that you will obtain that first quick win? What? The first moment of truth. You're talking about yung unang touch base, na lahat ng touch base before you score. So yun ang kailangan natin. So ibig sabihin, total customer experience tells us about what? First moment of truth principle, na kailangan quickly, our quick win, if the customers wanted and help and see us na makapag-decide to purchase initially our product. So this is the first way and goal. Ano yung second goal dyan? Ang second goal natin, well, just to provide you another quick lang tayo dun sa simple case study. Tingnan nyo even from merchandising, based on study, 70% of decision are made in just a few seconds. So ibig sabihin, kaya nga di ba, most of the companies right now are really working and enticing their customers. So just one of the bases that we wanted. We cannot score hanggat hindi pa rin tayo napunta doon sa kahera o nag-purchase sila o nag-online sila at nag-order sa atin. That's the whole point. Now, the second way to do that is about what? The second moment of truth tells us about yung repeat ng customers natin to experience the benefit and eventually patronize our product. That's the second moment of truth. And continuously, kailangan diretso siya. So ano ibig sabihin? You wanted to be different. You wanted to do something that will help your product or service. Sabi ko nga sa inyo, the character right now of a true entrepreneur is shown na mga taong alam nila how do they navigate with this. You really have to innovate if you're an existing entrepreneur. The way to do it, innovate. Everyone, look at this Ibibigyan ko po kayo ng acronym. Just mention this o tingnan nyo kung marirecall nyo. First, yung in. Either you're in or out. Innovate po tayo. That's in. Then next yung no. Sa innovate, no. Nowhere to go but up. Hindi po UP, hindi rin po Ateneo, hindi po Lasal, but up. Nowhere to go but up. Why? Karaniwan po kasi yung trajectory pag when you innovate the product, your service, or if you are in the corporate right now, yung entrepreneurship na tinatawag, you have to do that. All right? Innovate. Now, so nowhere to go but up. Next, V. Value the essence of time. Kailan pa mapag-iiwan ka ba ng pansitan? And lastly, 8. Ano yung 8? Don't be eaten by your competition. Innovate. Okay? So that's a way to do it, everyone. And lastly on this, everyone, always remember that when you do these things, crisis man o hindi crisis, always think that the best business or the best trophy that you can get is the business of your customer. Think about that, everyone. We can be a person or an individual na magaling na entrepreneur o hindi magaling na entrepreneur. But come to think of this, everyone. Para tayong nasa isang field, track and field, at merong grandstand dyan. And then sa grandstand dyan, alam naman natin, merong mga manonood. I always challenge people is about this. Do you want to be a spectator who's sitting just there in the grandstand and watching how the game unfolds? Or will you be the player who will play, train, innovate, and learn and be motivated to win that game? Think about it, everyone. A spectator who will just sit down and watch how the game unfolds, or a player who will play the game and win the game for this way sa inyong entrepreneurship journey. All right? So, I'm on time. I hope that's the JV, I'm on time. Sam, I'm here also. So,
Hi. Hi,
ayan,
Paolo.
so medyo
Alam mo
hiningal
yung,
ako, parang kabayo. Okay,
alam
but
mo,
at least,
Paolo,
yes, go ahead.
sinabi mong am I on time, you're a lot earlier than time. Kasi ang alam ko, initially ang time mo is a little bit later. But Paolo,
Yep.
thank you for the effort of coming here with us. Ang dami mong na-share with that short time, no?
Yep.
Sige,
Yep.
Sir Paolo,
Salamat.
let me just do a quick capture of your talk today
Go ahead.
for some people na you will just follow, no? So, I love the C2C, which is cash in every crisis. And then may nag-chat sa atin, pwede ring Christ to Christ.
Pwede, yes.
Pwede.
Maraming pwede talaga. Maraming pwede. Yes.
Sobrang daming pwede. In fact, yung C2C mo na yan, ang C po ba ay pandemic as a curse or ang pandemic as a change maker? So that's another one,
At
right?
pwedeng curse to cash. Pwede rin, ha? Dami
Yes,
pwede.
sobrang dami. And then up your antennas, I like the scanning the environment. And I think by heart, you are an advocate of not customer service. Mukhang advocate ka, sir, talaga ng customer experience. Nabanggit mo, ang kulay na paborito mo ay orange. At
Pero hindi ako naka-orange, saka-blue ko ngayon eh.
Oo nga, at naisilid mo to sa talk mo by saying be the orange among the thousands and millions of apples. So which means every person has a unique story to tell, tama?
Exactly.
And
We have our own narrative. Yan. Oh.
And last but not the least, I sent a chat privately to our group, no, na sabi ko, ang galing-galing ni Sir Paolo, nakakatuwa siyang pakinggan. Sige.
Nako.
Paolo,
maraming salamat, JV. Yeah.
before you bid goodbye and bring forward our virtual partnership launch, okay, can you please share your closing message of your talk? Any
Ayun.
reminders to them?
Yep. Oo, sabi nga natin, no, maraming paraan po how to win games. And, the business is like a game. Di ba parang buhay natin yan? Alam naman natin yon if you're in the corporate world right now, parang buhay natin yung corporate eh. Pag nasa negosyo naman tayo, buhay din natin ang negosyo. So, ibig sabihin, we have so many victories as we have so many failures in our businesses as well as in life, in personal and our professional life. So, sabi ko nga everyone, that the more that we need to equip ourselves, parang kailangan natin yung, alam niyo yung resilience eh. Ngayon natin nakita. Kaya kanina, at least 2 beses sabi ko, JB, about yung parang, yung character. Dito kasi natin napapakita yung character. And I hope that, again, just a challenge to everyone. You can always be a player. Sabi ko nga, a player will win the game in your game of life. The game of life, whether yung negosyo, it's okay, go ahead. Be the player that you wanted to be. Ang ayaw natin, everyone, para tayong kabayo. Ano yung kabayo? Yung parang banderang kapos o banderang tapos. Yung banderang tapos, ibibigay ang lahat. You have to lay your heart on the line and just keep on minding, just keep on pushing. Just keep on pounding. Never mind and never back down. Yun ang gusto natin dito. Keep on inspiring, di ba? Keep motivating and always mind winning. Ayan. So,
Salamat.
Maraming salamat. At sana, sa totoo lang, hindi ako sanay ng 10 minuto at 15 minutes eh. But anyway, I hope
Nahalata ko nga.
Ang hirap para rin akong kabayo dito. But anyway, JB, I would like to invite everyone. You can catch me every Saturday, everyone, on my online show, kung okay lang, James, no? Yung The Paolo TV Show. Yan. Alam ko maraming taga-Bounce Back community nanonood din dito. So I hope na please do join us. There's a lot for you, professionals. Kasi ito'y pang corporate at ito'y pang business. So join us every Saturday, 7 p.m. And plug ko na rin, if you're looking for right now to really kickstart your team, I would like to also share with you things that we do, getting your sales rallies, kickoff, and so on, to help your company, organization, big and small. Let us know. You can email us or just follow and reach us through our Paolo Tibig page, Paolo Tibig LinkedIn, Twitter, lahat ng social media. Yun na lang po.
Magpapasignature na lang ako mamaya, ha? Virtual lang. Salamat. Maraming salamat, Sir Paolo TV.
Thank you, everyone, and happy anniversary to all of us. Thank you, James. Thank you. Salamat.
Salamat. And of course, I'd like to call my afternoon partner as we launch our virtual partnership, Mr. Sam Hacoba. Pasok. Ikaw po ay magpakita. Si Sam would always wanna be on the back end. Pero sa hapong ito, kailangan ko siya because he will be moderating a few panels with us.
Teka,
Alright. Sige po.
Just moving forward, Sean.
Yes. Okay. So, ngayon this is now the beginning segment of our virtual partnerships, and I'm
Yes.
very excited because I am going to throw the hat of a host and I will sit with my colleague and co-founder mamaya in our panel. Kahit pa paano makakapagpahinga ng konti. Once I see Sam on board.
Okay, I'm on now, JB. So, okay, sorry. My camera is off pala. I apologize for that, everyone. Okay.
Sige po. All right. Sam, okay. Bakit ba napaka-importante nitong segment natin hanggang alas 5? Itong tinatawag na teeing up our virtual partners.
Well, definitely, JB, March is Women's Month, di ba? And last March 8 is International Women's Day. Alam mo naman na pagka walang females, wala tayong lahat, right? So, shout out sa mother ko, of course, sa aking wifey, and sa mga sisters ko, both by blood and by the community. So, and alam mo, JB, nakita mo kanina yung statistics natin, di ba? 62% of our community members are females. And sila yung pinaka-active actually sa community. So, nagpo-post sila ng kanilang mga, new products or new solutions na sinishare nila. Sila din yung mga sumusuporta sa isa't isa pag nagpapalike ng page. Karamihan na nagla-like siya, mga females. And ito pa is nakakatuwa, sila din nagsusumbong ng mga pasaway. So, most of those that report yung mga posts, puro females to. They're very diligent and meticulous. Sabi nga ng si Ellie, your ate, di ba? Na kanina she was minding me. Binibigyan niya ako ng saging from time to time kasi pag may event tayo, naalala mo, hindi ako kumakain, di ba? So,
yes.
Sinusupply niya ako ng chocolate saka ng banana. So, yun ang aking, and si Sean naman makes coffee for us. So, ako very happy. Yeah, sige.
Sam, may naalala lang ako. Kasi nga, di ba, nung early 2000, magkakaroon tayo ng caravan tour sa DepEd,
Right.
mga public school teachers. Hindi ba't ang kumukuyog sa'yo at ang nagpapasignature sa'yo, mga babaeng guro? Naalala mo yun?
Tawa talaga yung mga teachers natin sa DepEd. Dapat mag-reunion tayo. Most of them are actually, since we trained them on tech, di ba, under the Partners in Learning program, yung iba sa kanila, head of technology na sa kanilang mga respective divisions.
Yes.
Some are principals already. So, magandang balikan yun. And they really are, the best learners, especially yung ating bounce back education community. Hello po, marami po dyan taga DepEd. Alam ko po may DepEd Commons, pero we also provide you, a different perspective, when we share with you our lessons. JB, pinakamasipag umattend sa ating community, ating mga female teachers dun sa bounce back education group.
Agree.
Sila. And at the same time, gusto ko sila kasi nga, they make sure that they get something out of their learning. Talagang gusto nila, number one, on time yung mga yan, tapos nagko-comment sila, tapos they get their certificate, okay? But isi-share natin, next time po, baka yung certificate nyo maging dalawa na. One for attendance and one for proficiency. Yan.
That's right. Para sa mga nakikinig sa atin, there will be a couple of panel and panelists today, and uunahin natin muna ang photo, Sam, and then we will go straight to the panel. At this point, allow me to recognize our first batch of virtual partnership, and I would like to recognize from Connected Women.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Ruth U. Owen. Hi, Ruth.
Hello. Kumusta?
I am good. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for being in the tech run as well. How are you today, Ruth? How are you feeling today?
Okay naman, medyo hectic lang. Women's Month is really busy for Connected Women. So
Definitely.
And so-
I like to hear Ruth, from different from yesterday, So
And
yeah.
And thank you, Ruth, for taking time here in Bounce Back PH. And of course, I would like to call my co-founder from WSW, or Women Supporting Women Philippines, Michelle
maybe
Wangit.
tayo with Miss Ruth. Let's
Sure, muna
have a
tayo
photo.
with Ruth. Photo op muna pala tayo. Sige.
Yeah.
Okay.
Teka, pakibalik sa yung Connected Women. Yan.
Sige, Connected
Ano lang
Women.
Yes. Parang stealer.
Alright. Sige, let's go.
Ganon.
May ganon? Sige.
So, parang kay Brother Paulo, di ba?
Okay,
Crisis,
1,
right?
2, 3. Yes. Is the
Connected
pandemic a curse?
Sabi daw ganun. So, si JB Wong yan. Connected Wong.
Salamat.
Is-truth yung kwento ng Connected Women. So, thank you. So, ipitayin natin si Michelle. Michelle, yung hubby nagka-shout out na sa ating sa ating
Oo nga.
yung number one fan mo. Nandiyan na si Boris. Hi, Boris.
Number 1 fan yan.
Oh,
Hi, Sam and JB.
oh. How are you,
Hi,
Michelle?
Michelle.
Kumusta? Oh,
Hi,
balik na naman
Ruth.
natin,
Love it.
yung ating banner naman. So, stay on, Ruth. I mean, we're all friends here.
Okay.
So, we're also, ilalagay ko lang yung WSW. Okay? Akala ko women helping women. Yung
Women supporting women. So Sam, magpo-photo op na ba with Michelle or among all of us?
Okay na to.
Okay, sige po. Sige. 1,
Yeah.
2, 3.
Yeah. W. Ganun pa,
W pala.
May W.
Ganun.
Oh,
Ganun.
Okay. All right. I'm throwing the hat of a host. Yoo-hoo!
Yeah, thank you,
And then
thank you.
I'm just wearing the hat of someone with Michelle and also with Ruth. Back to you,
Yeah.
Sam, our moderator.
So, manage kayo Miss Wong, di ba? So, ako wala akong nakahandang script, but ladies, again, congratulations, salamat talaga at pinaunlakan niyo kami dito. So, si Ruth, alam ko, 2 days ago lang yun nalaman. Thank you for being here. Oh, thank you, Ruth. So, do you have a bounce back story if you'd like to share to all of our women entrepreneurs in bounce back? So, ano yung personal bounce back story mo? So,
okay,
something
so
about
yeah, so I think what people know is that Connected Women is a community of women. Pero ang hindi nila alam, ang main mission talaga ng Connected Women is to provide Filipino women with jobs working from home. So, yung co-founder ko, si Gina Romero, has a story. She came here in 2016. Her mom was domestic help in the 1970s. Tapos, parang nakikita niya yung mga tita niya, mga kaibigan ng nanay niya na may mga pictures ng anak. Sabi, bakit may picture? Asan ang mga bata? Nasa ibang bansa. We have to, come here to work so that we can send money back home. So, which is a vicious cycle. This story is being told over and over again. So, ang ginawa namin, nagtayo kami ng job matching platform called MetaMatch, wherein yung mga virtual assistants will be matched with entrepreneurs. So we were doing that for about 2 years. So when we were ready to parang scale na, nangyari yung pandemic. So we needed to pivot, right? Because the entrepreneurs that were hiring our virtual assistants were also gravely affected, right? Yung mga MSMEs, ganyan. So nag-pivot kami. So together with UN Women, we launched a training program called Elevate IDA, Artificial Intelligence Data Annotation. So we train about 70 women in, alam niyo yung data annotation, it's when we're browsing, tapos sabihin sa'yo, we want to make sure you're not a robot. Paki-click lang yung mga traffic lights, storefront, ganyan. So that is annotating. Now, where do those things go to? Machine. It goes to a robot to learn what traffic lights are. And a machine will need millions and millions of data to process that, right? So kami yung human in the loop. We train all these women. To date, we're able to train about almost 300 women. And our aim is to train 1,000 women in data annotation, AI, artificial intelligence.
Galing talaga nun, no? So how many graduates do you have of that program, Ms. Ruth?
So our graduates are about 250, 260. And I think today we are onboarding from Insular Life. It's sponsoring 20 women. So ang mga partners namin are UN Women, Smart, Globe, also Sanofi, yan. And the LGU of Isabela Basilan, which is a conflict area in Mindanao, right? So yun, sa amin kasi technology is parang walang territory diba? You can, if there's connectivity, we can reach as many women as possible, especially the low-income women. Yan.
So they can do this with their phones only, do, right? So, or do they need
So onboarding is very simple. If you have a smartphone, so we have an app that they can go and use using their smartphone. So parang nag-aaral din, di ba? Pag kinder ka, ito lang yung ano sa'yo. And then we train them. So they become a pool of our women, data labelers. And there's artificial intelligence is a booming industry. It will be $1 billion industry. And then we
Mhm.
want to prepare the Filipino women and
Mhm.
onboard them now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's good. So those that were displaced by the pandemic, for example, you look for other jobs for them, no? Tama-tama. And then you help them also from training down to the completion of the training up to the placement, ano? And then there's continuing training also. So tuloy-tuloy
Well, yeah, yeah. Yeah, well, but we don't place them. We they become a pool of our women laborers. Para kaming BPO but work from home. So
Mhm.
imagine that, right? Kasi kailangan pa naming i-process yung gusto ng kliyente. Let's say like the likes of Amazon, Google or whatever needs data to be labeled. Bibigay nila sa amin tapos sabihin nila yung mga instructions because it's also about accuracy, security, data privacy and all that. So we
Right.
need to streamline that before we can give that. But what we assure is that we give the women a living wage. Kasi minsan napagsasamantalahan yung ganyan na micro work na tinatawag, no? Sa ibang bansa, they run sweatshops on this. So kami, this is our mission, right? Yun.
Mhm. You also teach them other skills. Like for example, for some of them, baka pagka kumita na yan, then gagastos din na yung pera nila kung saan-saan. Ano? So we also have like holistic training that help them about financial literacy, etc. So yeah.
So we have partners like in life, no? We yung financial literacy, tinuturuan din sila. And then also yung sa smart, no? Yung paano rin silang makakabenta rin ng mga kung ano-ano diyan. But I think the Connected Women Communities is the tagline is connect, work, share and learn. So parang lahat 'yan na sometimes they learn from one another. Alam mo sinasabi nila, when women support one another, we all succeed eh. 'Di ba? Yun eh. Pag nagpunta ka sa Facebook page ng Connected Women at may nagtanong about accounting or legal, ang daming sumasagot na accountants, lawyers. So it's a very supportive group and we encourage women to support one another. Mahirap naman kasi yung parati na lang you're competing, 'di ba? We all benefit when we work together and collaborate.
Oh, definitely. And you have another women's group here who's ready to collaborate with you. Oh. So thank you very
looking forward.
much. Balikan na ka natin. So, JV and Michelle, kwento nyo naman. WSW, di ba? Para siyang radio station actually.
Hi, Sam. Hi, Sam. So, first of all, before Michelle and I would share, Ruth, we congratulate you for your efforts along with the Connected Women. Just listening to you, I could only visualize the ripple effects of what you've done. And I was struck by connect, work, learn, and share. In fact, Michelle, parang kindred spirit kasi meron tayong help, which is our purpose. And Michelle may wanna share also about yung purpose statement ng women supporting women, which is on the help side. Okay.
Yes. Actually, Women Supporting Women began when JV approached me in May last year. And she was thinking of what we could do to empower women. And, when you talk about empowering women, madaming mga different ways to do that. And see, Miss Ruth, you Owen, came up with something that is very concrete, a big help to women, and I really appreciate your efforts. On the other hand, yung ginagawa namin ni JV, when we thought about that, when she was saying, how can we empower women at this time? So that was still a time of a lot of uncertainty. And when she was thinking of empowering women, actually, the first thing that I thought of was, hey, that's me. You'd want to help me because I'm one of the women at that time who woke up in the morning and had so many thoughts swirling in my head. I was wondering, okay, what's gonna happen now to my children's education? What's gonna happen now to our means of earning, ganyan. So and I was thinking, I thought in a sense, parang if I was thinking this way, I'm sure a lot of women were also thinking that way. And I thought that some of the other women have probably gone before us in those questions. Like perhaps they were thinking about a lot of mothers were thinking about should I homeschool my kids, and then I thought I'd like to hear from women who have homeschooled their kids, and I want to learn from them. And then I thought about some women like me, who's not an entrepreneur, would like to learn from other women who bravely took on banner of entrepreneurship at this time. No? So, yun, parang that's what we talked about before kami ni JV na I'd like to learn from other women's stories. Ganyan. We'd like to learn from other women's stories. So, um, so when JV and I came together, we thought of women supporting women, and our battle cry is really the acronym HELP, which is to honor one another, to encourage each other, to listen to one another, but not just listen, but also learn from one another, and finally to pray for each other. Because we realize that when we're listening to the stories of other women, um, we become parang we become recipients of their life lessons. So basically, women supporting women became like a receptacle of women's stories, so that women have a venue by which they can share how they are striving and thriving in this pandemic. So we recognize kasi na the first thing that got hit by this pandemic is our sense of hope. Yung sense of para tayong nawalan ng hope, tsaka we felt hopeless and we felt helpless. But our co-sojourners, there are a lot of women who have been learning, and we recognize that it begins with perspective. So, if women share the lessons that they have learned, then maybe they can impact our perspective first and foremost, and then it can affect our attitudes towards things, and then even the things that we decide to do. Yon. So, for the past uh, 10 months, we have received about 103 stories, and we've been sharing that with the other women in the Women Supporting Women Philippines community. So that's just a short story of
Thank
what we've
you.
done so far.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you. And if I may just add lang, kasi si Michelle mentioned about we go by need. So for example, last June, parents are wondering, should I homeschool my child or not? So we launched an episode which is exactly the question, should I homeschool my child or not? And then, sometime July, a few women ask us, pwede ba kayo mag-episode ng pagsa-start ng business? We go by need talaga, no? We go by God's calling. So, July, go ahead to Sean. Thank you, Sean. Galing mo, Sean. The next slide will show you the entrepreneurship episode, which is in the next slide, you will see, should I start a business during the pandemic? Okay, sige po. We'll go to the next slide. Yeah. Babalik lang tayo. I just want to particularly show this event previously. So we invited several women, and they for them to talk about putting up a business. This one that you see, the next time a few women went to Michelle and myself, how do I juggle and struggle roles right now? Nasa mid-pandemic na. And so we invited IWC, or Intentional Women Coaches, and we launched an episode. So talagang, we go where we are taken. And as of last Monday, sabi ni Ruth, napaka-busy talaga nitong linggo na to. I should say, no, Ruth, last Monday, Michelle and I did a private gathering among 103 women whom we featured on WSW Facebook. So yun po yung mga milestones ng Connected Women at saka ng WSW.
Ang galing, nakita ko yun kasi member ako ng group nyo eh. Si Summer, nakita ko doon. Si mga women supporting women, no? So, ang galing, really, I remember this, there's this meme before, yung they plotted how women shop. Nakita niyo ba yan? Have you seen that? I still remember that.
Yung paikot-ikot.
Yes, so coming men, just go there, grab one, then, So it seems na parang ganun din sa online, no? You really, how do you place it? Ang ganda kasi you use both your heart and your mind simultaneously. So kami yata mga lalaki, minsan puro heart lang. So, minsan nga puro heart lang. So, but kaya mo balance, right? Based on what you've shared with us, talagang when you approach something, it's complete. Di ba? So you process it already using both your left and right side of the brain, and then you act on it. So, yun ang ano sa akin ng wife ko, matagal ako bago, ano, but siya, boom, action agad. So, I can see that also, yung sa mode nyo, like, oh, there's a problem here, let's solve it, let's take care of it now. So, take care of it now. And during this pandemic, it's very important, di ba? Yung sense of, urgency. For example, inuubo yung anak mo, di ba? And mahirap ngayon magpunta sa ospital, di ba? So, you need to really be very, very, mindful about these things, no? So, ano yung nakikita yung similarities between connected women and women supporting women? Based on your sharing, what are the similarities? Yan. So, sirot mo na yan.
Sige,
Lahat,
ako.
lahat kami magaganda.
Yes, that's number one, JV. Lahat kami
Kailangan yun.
magaganda. At
Ganda na setup ng camera saka sounds, no?
di ba?
Go ahead,
Ang ano kasi, I think with connected women, we're driven by passion. Ang pag dinala ka kasi ng puso mo on what you want to do, gusto mong tumulong. Everything else kind of falls into place. Sinasabi nga ni JV kanina, parang it's grace, 'di ba? Parang you're guided by grace. You know, you do all your episodes based on ano ba yung mga issues, ano ba yung ganun. Sa amin, before the pandemic, we have like, actual meetups, and yung may mga 40 meetups yata kami, 40 to 50 meetups every 6 weeks. So, kunyari, may Connected Women Makati, Connected Women Mandaluyong, and all that, no? So, they meet in person. So, we have volunteers. Ang gagaling ng mga volunteers namin, also driven by passion, right? Wala namang bayad, right? So, but what we did was we kind of established that platform, and then the women came. You know, sabi na nga nila, when you build it, they will come. Right? And what happened is, iba-iba yung profile ng women in our community, right? So para silang so there'll be like business women, professionals, housewife, OFW, whatever. Walang requirements to be a member. You just, sign in and you become a member. So I have this fun story of this housewife that came to Connected Women Mandaluyong. So sabi nila, connected din naman Mandaluyong, magmi-meet tayo ng Wednesday, ganitong date. So she came, right? So she told this story after the meet-up. She said, when she went there, nakita niya, parang masyadong professionals yung mga nandun. Tsaka housewife lang ako. You know, when you have this unpaid labor for a long time, you manage to convince yourself na walang kwenta yung ginagawa mo, when in fact housewives are actually doing a lot more, right? So anyway, sabi niya, hindi, uwi na ako. And then something telling her na, I will stay. Let's stay. Dito ka na, namasahe ka na, go. And then when she joined, and then she shared at the end, she goes, muntik na ako umuwi. But really, alam mo, ang laki ng naitulong sa akin just by being here and being around these women, and I'm looking at them and I'm thinking, alam mo, kaya ko rin ginagawa nila. So why am I, so that nagkakaroon sila ng, their minds are open. And I think, that there's a similarity in what we're trying to do. Just getting women to be, kasi minsan tayo rin ang sarili nating kalaban, di ba? yung kayo kasi you get other people to tell the story para makarelate. So parang ganito din. But really, so during the pandemic, what we did was we had our meetups online. Online na rin kami. So anyway, so I think that's a similarity with what we're trying to do.
Yeah, thank you. So likewise, Shell, JB, so what did you see dun sa sharing?
Yes, actually, I appreciate nung dinidescribe ni Ruth yung what Connected Women is doing. I thought this is the next level. I was thinking recently, I don't know if I've shared it with JV, na kami din we gather different kinds of women. Parang and there are really common denominators. All of us are in need of encouragement, and all of us are in need of practical help. Kasi before I was thinking, okay, somehow we're able to channel the stories of other women and they're encouraging. And then we hear stories of women bravely taking on, for example, entrepreneurship. Ganyan. Pero how do we practically support them, support their businesses? And I see that what a Connected Women is doing, based on what I'm hearing so far, is a very practical, very talagang tangible way of helping women. And na-appreciate ko yun kasi parang there's there's always a group, maybe like Bounce Back PH, no? Parang there's always a group that's trying to support each other everywhere and in every way. So parang nakakatuwa lang that having groups like this is telling us that we're willing to come alongside each other, na we're not alone. Nobody's alone, because there will always be groups that are willing to help and learn from each other.
Yeah. Thank you. JV, like to add
Hi,
to
Sam.
what I said? Yeah.
Yes. Parang ayokong i-wear na yung host hat ko. Parang maya-maya eh. Maya-maya magtatapos na yung panel. Ang saya naman itong panel na to. But as a closing for women supporting women, last Monday, we had a private gathering. Bumaha ang luha ng mga kababaihan. In fact, while we are so many, we had breakout rooms using Zoom. And within each room, there is a shepherd or a facilitator and checking on the rooms. A lot of women started to cry just a minute coming into the room. So, Sam, isa yan sa mga common denominator sa mga kababaihan. Talagang maluhain kami, di ba? But as we close, help
Uh,
stands for we have to honor each other. We have to encourage each other. We need to listen to our stories, and ultimately we pray for each other. Now, you know, Michelle is our community prayer warrior. Every
wow.
time we come into a gathering or episode, she will start with a prayer, and our episode or gathering will end with a prayer. Hindi kompleto tong panel na to if Michelle will not say a short prayer for Bounce Back PH.
Uh,
Would you like
bago
that?
tayo mag-play, meron akong request. Okay?
Sige.
One question for all three of you. Okay? What is your message to men? Entrepreneurs. Yeah. One or two sentences lang. Yeah.
What do you mean, men entrepreneurs or men in general?
Probably in general, yes, definitely. Your partners or the brothers of your members. Yeah, so
Umiiyak ba si Michelle? Ah, hindi.
Yeah.
Okay.
2% of our
Yes, I think my what I can say is that women will always need the support of their partners, whether it's your husband, your boyfriend, or whatever, and it starts at home. Alam mo, gender equality for me is you need the support. Hindi pwedeng gender equality babae lang eh. Pag pinalaki ka ng tatay mo at sinasabi sa'yo, kababae mong tao, hindi mo dapat ginagawa yan, you're limiting the women. So I think when you need to support, you have to be there for women. Kahit bata pa lang yan, you need to get women to strive harder and kahit ano kaya mo, ganon. Yun lang.
Thank you.
And if I may go ahead, Michelle, to be the last one, as she will say a minute prayer. Trust your women. Trust the women around you. Trust our instinct and our intuition. All right, and we will help you lead the way. That's my only message.
Michelle, yeah. So your message, and then probably close with the prayer, for all the women of Bonds of
Alright.
Philippines. Those who are watching us all over the world right now. Pati sa replay, yeah. So may manunod ng replay.
Siguro before we pray, I just wanna parang put in my 2 cents worth about that. Parang women have siguro one thing I appreciate about women is our willingness to be vulnerable to each other. It's because we know that we have common struggles and we have common places of encouragement. So, inisip ko, do men need that ba? I wonder. So, parang inisip ko, I wonder if what kind of support men need from each other. Yun lang. Maybe that's a kind of challenge that men can think about at this point. And sige, I'll just share a short prayer if you don't mind. Let's
Yep.
pray. Father, thank you for the compassionate hearts, Lord, that you've given each one. We know that we won't be in this situation if we have not received compassion from you, you yourself, Lord. We have experienced what it's like to receive grace, mercy, and love. And out of the outflow of our hearts, Lord, we want to come alongside our fellow women and even men, fellow human beings who as we recognize that we don't have it all in ourselves to support ourselves, to propel ourselves, but you have given these men and women, Lord, in Bounce Back PH, in Connected Women, and even in Women Supporting Women. Um, you have given us, Lord, the heart and the passion to be able to help our fellow men, fellow women, uh, to be able to indeed survive and thrive in the midst of this pandemic. God, we pray that you will direct our paths so that we can make the maximum impact towards the people that we desire to help, and pray that you will bless the efforts of our partnerships, God, so that it will we'll really be able to rise up together, recognizing that you are a sovereign God. You have seen everything from start to end. Your heart towards us is love. And so we entrust ourselves to you. We entrust our organizations to you. In the mighty name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen.
You,
Thank
ha?
you.
So, kaya pala naiiyak ka, JV.
Thank you, Ruth. Thank you,
Yeah.
Michelle.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you
Can,
na,
Pwede ko
Thank
bang
you for
i-promote
having
yung
us.
ano namin, yung event namin
Of
sa
course, go
March
ahead.
24? So we have a Connected Women's event on March 24. So we'd like to invite everyone to come and join us. Kayo, collaborate tayo, Michelle, JV, Sam.
Yeah, please post the
Bounce Back
details
PH.
ng Bounce Back ano natin as an announcement. So yeah,
Yes, we'll
we'll put
post it
there.
here. Yeah, okay. Thank you. I had
Okay,
fun.
maraming
Salamat.
okay, nandiyan si Michelle na Viva from also your member, di ba? So but she's wearing the hat of ITAP. So technology si Michelle ngayon. So probably gusto mong si sorry, Mylene pala. Sorry, nalito ako. Mylene. Yan, she was supposed to be here but sabi namin, tech ka muna ngayon. Teka, asan ba? Yeah, there. Sandali lang ha. Add si Mylene sa stream.
Hi,
Hello!
ladies. Pahinga muna ako sa women. Yes. I'll be wearing my
Nagkagulo pa kami ni Mylene. So she's a technologist now. And I'll also do this to our far friend, si Colin. Yan. Colin's from Global Chamber.
Hello.
And of
Hello.
course,
hi,
Teddy.
Colin. Hi, Teddy.
Yeah. Si Teddy.
Hello,
good
afternoon. Nice to see you. Hello, everyone.
Of course, we have a friend from South Africa, si Deshen, also from Global Chamber. So,
Hello.
Hello.
what time is it there, Deshen? It's like 9 o'clock,
9
right?
a.m.
9 a.m. So we're in the presence of strong and lovely women here, for this session. So, let's have our photo taken nga. It's like that
Yes.
session, So, Sean, can you please take our
Tap na lang ako magulo.
By the way, Sam, Connected Women is also part of the Women's Business Council, where I'm the
I
president.
know.
Yes, so thank you so
Marlene,
much.
we're together in MAP also, right?
Yes,
Yes,
right.
rin. Wow,
So well
magkakasama tayo.
represented. I said I'll just wear my tech hat and
Yeah,
Yes.
Kasi Maylin, puro kami lalaki pagka wala ka. Baka magano.
Okay.
Isang photo naman siguro. I mean, Connected Women, that's letter C, or ganito yun, di ba? Women supporting women.
Paano kami, Sam? Ano ba? Thumbs up na lang kami? Kami, mga boys.
Okay, letter C, Connected Women.
Women's heart.
Yeah, pwedeng heart. Heart daw, sabi ni Maylin.
Heart.
Ganito ba? Ganito? Oh.
Yan. Sean, please take our photo. Yan. Huwag niyong pakita yung mga thumbprints niyo, baka ma-hack. Okay. Di ba?
Okay.
Thank you, Ruth.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Ruth.
Thank
Michelle.
you. Thanks, everyone. Good luck.
Thank you. God bless.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Beautiful prayer.
Yeah, thank you.
Very
Yes,
nice.
yes.
Very nice.
Now we're in the tech
On
panel.
the way
Ito
to
na.
tap.
All of the geeks are
discussion
shouting.
today.
Very
Let's
nice.
stop easy now.
Yeah. How are you, gentlemen? And of course,
And
ladies.
that lady.
Yeah, thank you. There's the other week, nasa ITAP tayo, di ba? Senior.
Oh, I showed the poster.
Yeah, so we had a GMM as well recently. So just to explain the business initiatives to combat the COVID and the business crisis and how other companies are thriving. So it's quite nice, very nice.
Galing. Let's do a partnership shot muna based on that. So, Sean will just pull up the banners. Okay? So, si Colin is wearing actually two hats. I forgot. It's also for the Analytics Association of the Philippines. So, we'll flash that first. Just to, yeah. Sean, please take a photo. Yeah. Colin's wearing two hats. Okay.
Yes.
And then
And and even
those in
Mylene.
here,
Mylene
those
is connected. Mylene is connected to a lot of organizations.
yeah,
Mylene, I
oh,
just want to let you know that I met you a few times when I think when I was working for Microsoft, katrabaho ko si Sam.
Oh, fantastic. Tomorrow we have a Microsoft Partner Day.
Yes.
Si Maylin, pwede nang tumakbo to eh.
and those
Very
in
popular.
Go negosyo also.
yan, may tap naman. There you
Okay,
go.
so
Yan.
I just want to thank everybody for being here, and your key moderator is Sam, but I will be his sidekick.
Yes.
And while I felt very very grounded, very at home with the women's group, this is also my second home because after college IT na yung ano mga trabaho ko. And so I'd love to learn from you. And if I may partake in this conversation, I hope to enjoy this very short panel discussion. Carry on, Sam.
Yeah, thank you. So maybe we should ask Maggie to talk about ITAP first. Ladies first now, Maggie. So ITAP's one of the well, one of the pillars of the technology industry, you know. So ilang years na ba kayo, ma'am? So parang
I thought Maylin.
1984. We,
Matagal na.
we were established 1984.
hmm,
And we are composed of the leading ICT suppliers in the Philippines. Before, we were just composed of the manufacturers, the systems integrators like Teddy, and other like software providers like Microsoft, Google. And then about a few years ago, they started opening up the membership to the users or the say benefactors of technology such as education. We have some members already, I believe, in I think in health and in utilities. Like we have, I think, around 20, of course, well, the telecoms, of course, is part of being part of it. And I am very honored to be part of the ITAP since we are into school technology and we're an OEM of Intel Education and GTP or a global training partner of Microsoft.
yeah, yeah, Terry.
Yeah.
So and also both of you have been trustees and directors for several years now, right? So
Yes.
since we're in the in the pandemic mode, did your members experience or have they been impacted by the pandemic, especially the lockdowns? Can you please share, are there any
Yeah,
struggles they
so
face?
I can definitely share a lot. I mean, operationally, I was impacted. The entire supply chain of demand up to supply of software to hardware was really impacted. It really was a bit of a cash crunch, no, in terms of just making sure that we survive because things were not moving. That was quite a tough situation, especially Q2, where there was nothing going on because of the ECT. However, I think we also showed that the IT industry in general and the companies were very resilient. So once the economy was picking up and opening up at the second half of the year, we've seen a substantial amount of pickup, specifically in areas such as work from home or study from home, where laptops have really drastically have gone on high demand, distance learning and so on and so forth. So there were emerging technologies that were in its infancy that we saw that were picking up from a digital payment and so on, which obviously streamed out and branched to quite a number of other our solutions, from cybersecurity to infrastructure and so on and so forth. So it's a very good journey for everyone. I think the industry in general was able to strive and evolve given the pandemic. So we're very blessed as an industry, compared to our
Yeah,
other sister industries as retail or travel and tourism who've been really been devastated by this pandemic.
Correct. Yung some of our friends in the industry, sabi nila, na beat daw nila yung quota nila, Q3 pa lang eh. Is that true, Teddy?
Oo. So ako nga, in fact, I mean, I'm not supposed to be proud of it, but actually we even saw growth. So we actually outgrew our 2019. So that was how significant the ramp up of second half of the year. Spending caught up. Quite a number of the private sector and quite a number of the government sector consciously made an effort to continue spending on technology, and we're blessed. So we cannot complain. So we've been
Yeah,
able
that's
to survive and evolve.
people moving to online, no? Maybe specifically for education, what did you see? What were the challenges, of the schools that you are serving?
Well, first of all, I'd like to announce that I have been the pioneer in robotics education for the past 21 years. In fact, nagninitan na ako sa kasal. I'm sorry, I have to speak in Tagalog for our friends. Yeah. Yeah. I already am a godmother in the weddings of the students that I have been helping in robotics since 1999. That's what I was saying. And then I think we are now, I have never dreamt that we have been more relevant now, as I've seen that the education space has really been impacted. Schools are closed, and all the educators, in fact, like tomorrow, every week we conduct remote learning webinars for teachers to be more confident to use the new tools in technology. And I believe that we have now found our calling, I would say, after all these years, because the students that go through our program, the robotics program, are now our data scientists, data analysts, probably be working for Colin in the future. We have also our AI managers. I mean, all these jobs that we have never even dreamt of in the last 5 years, 2 years even, right? So I know that the schools are still pretty much reeling. Some schools unfortunately have closed, but if they were able to be more agile in the remote learning modality, I believe that we will really truly bounce back, and that schools, hopefully by next school year, I think the word is it will not still be it still be remote this coming school year 2021 to 2022, but hopefully by next school year 2022-2023 we'll already open schools and we will have hybrid learning as well.
Yeah, thank you, Vicky, for that one. Let's welcome Michelle, by the way. So Michelle's from the Analytics Association of the Philippines. So Colin's the president, Michelle's the vice president.
Hello.
So welcome. Ayan, almost even na yung male-female ratio natin. So yeah, Michelle, we're just asking our friends to ITAP, so dapat kayo una kasi alphabetical, but we jump to ITAP
Yeah,
first.
sorry,
So
I thought it was
yeah, no worries, no worries. Okay lang yun. Talaga, we're all friends here. So same question that we have. So regarding your members, how did they, face the challenges of the pandemic, especially the lockdown? So probably, Colin, you'd like Michelle to answer first. Yeah, the AAB members. So how did they,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes, thank you for that question. In fact, it was also very enlightening for us at the Analytics Association and in the industry as well, right, in general. Before the pandemic, we were emphasizing the benefits and the need for analytics and data science. But during the pandemic, it came to a point where it's even just the essentials, right? Just talking about awareness of data. So not even analytics, because most of the local companies that we've interacted with through the association, we're just jump starting on their data project. So okay, how do I get started? Because now I don't have actual visibility on the performance of my business, because I cannot go to the stores, I cannot go to the branches, and I rely on my field people to know how my business is doing. But now we're all working from home, or at least we're managing remotely, and all we have to rely on are reports, right? Systems, all based on data. So we realized that there must be another maybe program or another initiative to just focus on the basics, so to speak. Not even pushing them towards sophisticated algorithms, or typically how you hear or how one understands what analytics and data science is, right? But it's really just being aware that we need to be analyzing data more, but maybe even a step further, a step before that is we need to be collecting more data, so we will be able to have informed decisions. Yeah, so I think it cuts across industries as well, Sam.
Yeah, that's good, Michelle. Yep. Colin, I'd like to add to what Michelle said. Probably you'd like to share the project that you have with the AP, the one that we're talking about, Colin, because it's very, very relevant now. You're able to forge this, infrastructure that will help people to learn about data analytics. So,
yeah, sure. First of all, I just want to also congratulate Bounce Back and on your first anniversary. bouncing back is the right mindset. And so it's very exciting, I think, to see, the mindset that we have. So yes, as Michelle was mentioning, AAP has teamed up with funding that's coming from DOST with the Development Academy of the Philippines on Project Sparta, which is a very exciting project to train 30,000 Filipinos in data science and analytics. I think we already have somewhere over 20,000 students in the program. And this is really great. If you look at the types of conversations that are happening now, even in this event and just all around us, it makes me very bullish, even though we're in such a difficult time right now. If you look at the long-term view, I'm very bullish about where the Philippines is going. Analytics, we put together the first data science and analytics conference in 2016. And it was like speaking a foreign language to people at that time. And then in 2017, we did the Digital Transformation Summit. People were saying, what's that? I've never heard of a Digital Transformation Summit. And now, of course, these are common language. These are in our common conversations. And so it's very exciting. And, obviously the next challenge is the upskilling and through AAP. So as you said, I'm wearing two hats here, AAP and also Global Chamber. We are really glad and honored to be able to contribute in that area.
Yep, definitely. So Colin, that most of the major business schools have already their own data, science courses, right? Some of them even masteral courses. So what are you doing? Is you're bringing the data science to the masses, right? So you mentioned 20,000. No, that's a lot of students already studying on the platform. So, yep, how's the experience? I mean, do you get any feedback from the students who are taking the course, for example? So.
Oh yes, people are energized and excited. You can follow some of the comments on the Sparta page here on Facebook. And it's very exciting. And what we're really trying to do is build an ecosystem of collaboration, right? So it means bringing together all of the key folks. So of course we're thrilled to have the support of the national government. We also partner with many of the universities, higher ed institutions, as well as corporations, as well as small businesses, and then ultimately also practitioners and students. So bringing all those parties together, and for example, we helped put together the Masters in Business Analytics program that's being delivered now at UNP, and there's a PhD program for data science under development now in some of the major universities that we're cooperating with as well. So it's about bringing all of those pieces together and working together, just as you are doing with Bounce Back. The same mindset.
Yeah, thank you for that, Colin. So our community also has more than the entrepreneurs. We also have career shifters. So either you're an entrepreneur, you'd like to go back to corporate, or you would like to set up a new business. So we've been pitching to them, hey, look at data science, look at information technology, and then maybe look at how you can improve your business. So Colin, let me now shift to Dishan. So to talk about how do entrepreneurs now harness information technology, data analytics, putting all of these together so they can improve their business. So, segue to you, Dishan. Please talk about yourself first. So, and then what BET is. So,
Sam, if you don't mind, could I just put in a quick note? First, to thank Dishan personally for joining. He's joining all the way from Johannesburg, South Africa.
yes.
I'm very excited about that because that's where I was born. That's my home country originally. And the work that he's doing around the world is very exciting that he's going to tell us about. So I'm just super excited about the capabilities that are going to be launched here in the Philippines with the partnership with Global Chamber and Bounce Back and BE3. So then over to you.
Thank you, Colin. And again, congratulations, Sam, in the Bounce Back Philippines community. I think what's happened in the year is something that you should really be. You guys have grown a great following, and the initiative behind what you do in your work for entrepreneurs and all the offspring of the various industries and sectors that you're supporting is actually phenomenal. So well done to you guys. Again, it's an honor to be, sharing the stage with a group of such esteemed panelists, such as the ladies that we've heard previously, the panelists now. Thank you for having me again. As Collins mentioned, and Sam as well, I'm the co-founder of Business Enabling Toolbox, or BET, which is really what we'd like to call your ultimate digital business support platform, which provides cost-effective business support and management for aspiring entrepreneurs and startups in any industry. So our vision for BET, or developing BET, came about 6 years ago, where we wanted to build a digital support platform to assist business owners in working on their businesses as opposed to working in their businesses. We wanted to also provide support to these business owners that we didn't have as entrepreneurs starting out almost 2 decades ago. Fast forward to present, we support over a few thousand, actually over 10,000 businesses globally on our platforms. And as Collins mentioned, we also have strong ties with the Global Chamber, who operate in over 500 metros globally. So it was really great alignment for us to actually reach out to the Manila chapter of the Global Chamber and Bounce Back Philippines to look at ways that we could support Philippine businesses through these tough economic times that we're currently in. I'm sure many of us, as we've been elaborating in each of our talks, that I think, even though I'm in South Africa and we're thousands of miles apart, I think there's commonalities in what's been happening on a global scale, and that's businesses need all the support that they can get to actually survive. And we hope that through our partnership, which is very exciting, if I might add, that we're able to support these organizations, because our synergies for this partnership were so great because we all share the same passion. So through many discussions with BET, the Global Chamber, and Bounce Back, we have partnered to provide support for businesses looking to grow, improve, and transform, and really take their businesses to the next level of performance. More of this exciting initiative will be shared in due course by Bounce Back Philippines and the Global Chamber through the various platforms. So that's my short introduction, Sam.
Yep, thank you. So, Jen, I started earlier.
Hi,
Okay.
Dishan. Yes.
Yeah, go ahead, Jamie. You
We're
have a
just
question for Jen?
we're
You have
just
an
fixing the echo.
Yeah, I know. Maybe that's the distance between the Philippines and South Africa. So,
Hold on. Let me just check if there's echo. Okay, there's no echo
comment.
anymore. Dishan, thank you for joining us. I mean, you represent what is truly international for Bounce Back PH. Pwede bang Bounce Back Global, Sam?
Yeah, actually, yeah, but most Filipinos are members. So, welcome, Dishen, to the Bounce Back family. Of course, Colin. Colin's actually a local. So, and he's more good looking than his countryman, Elon Musk. So, that's why.
Yes. Go ahead, Dishan. Would you wish to continue anything you wish to say about your initiatives there?
In South Africa, yeah. Did you remember we were talking about the similarities between the Philippines and South Africa, right? The challenges that entrepreneurs face.
So we have a very, and through many of our discussions, Sam and Colin, we have a very similar landscape. We in a developing economy, many businesses or many aspiring entrepreneurs, for example, have great ideas, but are unable to commercialize the ideas that they actually have in mind. And that actually contributes to the large number of SME failure rates within the globe. And our intention, for example, with BET was to create and assist these organizations or aspiring entrepreneurs with commercializing their ideas to create sustainable business. And that's what we wanted to do with BET, and we continue to do with the likes of Bounce Back and the Global Chamber. Being in a developing economy, especially with a pandemic, even a pre-pandemic, we experienced many challenges already in the SME landscape and with entrepreneurship. And with the pandemic, all it's done is just spiraled it out completely out of control, where not many businesses have actually seen the light of day. And what we want to try and do is we want to be able to show business owners and aspiring entrepreneurs that there is light at the end of the tunnel by providing all the support that we can in the best way that we can possibly do.
Yep, thank you, Susan. I'd like to telegraph to Maylene. Maylene, you've also developed similar systems for your company, right? So, super entrepreneur to Maylene, right? And Dishan's sharing also the best practice. By the way, Dishan's system is also co-developed with this one, right, Dishan? So, Since wife's also a technical person. So I need to comment on that, the tools that entrepreneurs need, right, during these times. I showed earlier a study by Cisco on the of SMEs in the Philippines. Like 20% of them, they don't know how to start. They don't know how to automate. They don't really know how to navigate through this new digital village. So is it the same for on what you've observed in the companies right now?
Thank you. Okay. All right. Yes. Yeah. Okay. I will be wearing my Women's Business Council hat and ITAP all together in my Felta Multimedia hat. What we have seen in entrepreneurs who are even before the pandemic is that there is no support for I would say inventions like for us, like we are into school technology, as I mentioned, so we're robotics, and you see schools have wonderful inventions, one of which is the robotcha, a robot that can detect a botcha meat, as we call it, or meat that has already been, spoiled meat, no, for the markets, for the palenque. Where here, sometimes they just put coloring so that it can still be sellable. So these are just like some of the inventions that we have with agribots and all that. But the thing there is, when we went to the IPO for it to be patented, they said they have no idea how to patent. So these are like just some of the, I would say, stumbling blocks of inventors or those who would like to have a startup in technology. And I believe that if we do address this, as government addresses this, I believe that the educational system where we're trying to push for STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, even arts and mathematics, we will be able to get more inventors, and then they can be our feeders for your startups, and they will definitely be our road to recovery, because we have more ideas that are come to fruition, and then we have the private and public parties involved for it to have to be a viable venture. So these are just like some of the examples that we can address. And once it's addressed and we do collaborate, like I would like to collaborate with AAP. As I mentioned, that we have 1,800, almost 2,000 schools in our community. Yes, these are, they call me the champion of the geeks. And we do have a lot of those students who are wonderful. Even before they graduate, they can already do analytics for you. In fact, we are working with Job Heroes, where students who would like to be working students can now have part-time work as analysts, and even for some software engineering jobs or projects, and they can do wonderful programs. And I think that, as I said, we do have to have a collaboration, especially that the digital space is really open for all. We have Dishen from in South Africa. Everything is now virtually open, even our marketing of our products, our skills can be done virtually. So,
Yep. And in fact, Michelle, a while ago, our speaker Paolo Tibig was inviting everyone to his channel. You know, everyone can now have a channel, right? Virtually and literally, and it's just a matter of courage, lang talaga, right, Mylene?
That's
Um,
true.
Courage, and just push it, discover your talent, and put it out there. Mylene, I have a question to something that you said a while ago. You said that you mentioned about the state of education, and I love that enlightenment about where we are now in education. What's your message to challenged educational institutions needing to close down?
right. I think, well, for those who are at the brink of closing down, because if they're closed down, I think there's nothing much to do. But if they're just hibernating, they're just probably closing their brick and mortar for this school year. There are a lot of digital tools or avenues, like we're doing virtual robotics so that the students can be safe in their homes. We're doing a lot of 3D simulations. There are so many software that can also be given for free. In fact, Microsoft, we're teaching remote learning through Microsoft, not as a plug, but just that. And we just have to take advantage of all the open resources. In fact, I heard the talk of the Department of Education, Yusek Alain, his message. Let's use open resources for our students, and if our parents use it for our children, because the world is really open for a lot of information now, for parents, for business, for people in business, for educators. Let's make use of the digital world, because it is a tool for us to progress and not for us to be repressed.
Definitely,
Yep.
yeah.
Thank you, Mylene, for answering my very specific question related to what you mentioned. I'm a homeschooling mom, and so I'm very interested with anything dep ed related, anything curriculum related. Sam, we are 10 minutes to our closing. So we still have the opportunity to hear a few more stories from our leaders.
Yeah, definitely. I think that AAP needs to respond to the offer of partnership idea, right? It's still an ITAP AAP Global Chamber collaboration. It comes back, of course, right? So let me segue to Teddy. Teddy has been in the industry for so long. So Teddy used to be tech, right, bro? And then you're now a country manager, right? So
Yes, yes.
a lot of people, they get scared of mathematics, right? Math is the field of science, because you need that as the foundation for you to take the STEM courses, you know. So, and then you mentioned DepEd, right? Math really begins, when you can count on your fingers, right? Like 1 year old, 2 year old, right? So, Teddy, can you tell us your tech journey? So we're all geeks here. So, and then what inspired you to take up STEM, and then boom, in the one of the pillars of tech industry. So,
Yeah. So I guess my journey was a bit unique in the sense that the journey to math and the STEM as a career was not a straightforward journey. In fact, I was a management graduate, but as I evolved and found more interest, the deeper I kind of found out how you can really leverage and optimize information. I found out that the foundation of it's really math, no? The numbers behind it, how you interpret these numbers, and how these numbers tell a different story altogether. In fact, if you go back a bit, quite a number of us started our journey with a experience from our statistics backgrounds, no? And that's where we kind of started all this information of hey, statistically you have XYZ chance of winning, or statistically you have this probability of getting hit by an airplane, and so on and so forth. But I think in general, the math part of it, to answer your question, is such a key part of everybody's career from a technology or even a STEM standpoint. And I strongly encourage that your math has to be very strong. For me, in fact, it's not inherent. I really had to force myself and work hard and understand it. But I guess because of my passion of my career and the passion of learning and leveraging the technology, it became inherent that I had to know and learn the math in a very different way. And in fact, I went through the journey of being a black belt. They had course called the Sigma. So Lean Six Sigma. I think they still call it nowadays. And so that was a nice little journey for me. I finished it. I have my black belt certification. I kind of use it every once in a while in my business, and it branches out to so many disciplines later on. So that's a nice little journey for you, and I do encourage everyone to have at least a very strong foundation in that.
yeah, great tips, Teddy. Teddy's a golfer, so when he plays, golf, he computes the angle of the ball.
So
Grabe.
that's where the math really comes into play, because the higher the number, it's bad.
Definitely.
Congratulations, Teddy, for your black belt. Akala ko pang taekwondo din no?
MMA.
Pero sa
Yeah.
Lean
Yeah.
Six Sigma pala
Yun,
yun.
Six Sigma, I think it was very popular. I would say 10 years
Yeah.
ago or 15
It
years
still
It
ago.
still
is.
is.
It still is. I
It
think, no,
is.
I don't know to what extent, because I've had it for so long, and I don't know how. Maybe more methodologies are more applicable now. But that was kind of how I kind of started my little journey, did my own little use cases and how to use Lean Six Sigma, and it's been interesting. In fact, Lean Six Sigma and Six Sigma in general can be used in so many things, even HR. So, but I use it for sales. for forecasting purposes.
Or operations. Yes.
And operations. So there's so many uses for that, and it branches out to more specialized disciplines like analytics and data science and so on and so forth. But to answer your question, yeah, golf is an imperfect sport. It
We
will
should
take you
invite
a lifetime
friends
journey to perfect it.
and bounce back.
Definitely.
And bounce back. And
Thank
a
you for
bit
the
of luck
invitation.
along the way. Yeah.
Correct. Basta pagka na-shoot yung bola, dapat hindi mag-bounce back. So,
And in a way, just to deviate a bit, you will see the character of people when they play, because every bad word that has been invented has been sworn and said in the golf course. So you'll hear that every once in a while. But anyway, so I just wanted to say that. Thanks.
yeah, thank you for sharing your journey. So,
Thank you.
Bonds community, so there's actually a good career if you pursue a career in tech.
Absolutely. So
In a
so I
career
do encourage,
in
I do encourage
analytics.
everyone to take it up and at least have a general understanding, even if it's not your specific career. Having a knowledge or at least a baseline on that is quite crucial for your career, especially as we move forward, where information is just so rampant.
Yeah, hahanap tayo ng scholarship for Six Sigma Black Belt sa ating community. Yeah. So Colin and Michelle, so about the Mylene's proposal for collaboration, how do you see it happening? So
many ways. For sure. Yeah.
I'm very excited actually about that, Mylene. We'll be talking very quickly to you. I think it comes back to what I was saying earlier, Sam, is what we're trying to do with AAP is really build an open ecosystem, right? All of the various collaborators together. It requires us all having common vision and a common roadmap. One of the things AAP has been doing is building frameworks. So we're building analytics maturity model framework for organizations who want to advance. We've developed a talent framework so that we can differentiate the different job roles that are available now in the data science and analytics world, and what kind of skills do you need for each one of those job roles. But those frameworks are meaningless if they're just locked up in a folder somewhere on a AP website. They need to be put into use. So this is why we're very eager to collaborate with you, Mylene, and others, so that we can have this shared vision that we can put these frameworks collectively to use. Michelle, you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, we touching on that education angle, right? So we have the part of the ecosystem, of course, is the academe and other similar institutions where they're basically preparing the supply for analytics talent. And then on the industry side, there's even public sector, there's the demand side of the analytics or the consumers. So we're supposed to be the connection for the supply and demand, making sure that there's enough supply and there's, of course, enough demand as well. But through these organizations, associations, Bounce Back, ITAP, we were also working, we were just at another event with HEMA, for example. And this is our way of, aside from just promoting analytics across different industries, but it allows us to be part of the awareness campaign as well, that we are here. Tap our sources or resources for subject matter experts on analytics. They're very few, but that is why we also need to organize them hopefully under the AAP umbrella, so that we can coordinate all these things more efficiently. So just to go back to that education angle, we are working right now with PBED and PTech as well, together with IBM. So working on, maybe looking at the employability of senior high school graduates. So supposedly they are right away employable after graduation K to 12, right? So that's supposed to be one of the objectives. And on the demand side of things, we see that not only do we have a big gap of analytics talent in the data science, the modelers and statisticians and all that kind of competency, but also at the entry level, where you just need someone to prepare the report, maybe on the data engineering side, maybe that kind of skill set, which we already have, or we've started working with the DOST to come up with a curriculum that is ready for senior high school. So this is our role. This is what we do. And as Colin mentioned, these are frameworks. We need people to actually use them. And working with associations like ITAP, Bounce Back PH, that's where we will reach our audience, our target users, so to speak. So hopefully, this is just the beginning of our relationship with ITAP and of course Bounce Back. But yeah, there's a lot for us to do. In fact,
Yeah. Don't forget Global Chamber.
of course, and also from Johannesburg.
Yeah, definitely. I read this the most recent World Economic Forum. Jobs of the future, right? Data analytics is
Yes.
there with the other AI and other technology courses, right? So,
Yes.
thank you very much, Michelle and Colin. Dishan actually is a surprise for us because in the realm of teaching, right? BET is actually a tool. It's very easy to use, but I think Dishan is planning to offer training for members, right? Dishan. So, much can you tell us how you train the community in BET?
I think, again, listening to everybody speak, I think we're all speaking the same message in different industries and sectors about collaboration, about openness, about sustainability, right? Be it in the field of analytics, be it in the field of technology. And from our angle in the field of entrepreneurship and SMEs, and something that I'd like to share, this actually marks the start of a great relationship, as I mentioned, between the Bounce Back, the Global Chamber, and BET, and our further commitment to actually supporting the entrepreneurship side of the SMEs that actually follow Bounce Back and the Global Chamber and so forth. And because of this, our sort of commitment is we would like to offer 70% of all our platforms subscriptions to all Bounce Back members in the communities. And that is the broader communities through AAP, through ITAP, because ultimately we have the opportunity to help organizations in the positions that we're in. And I think not being able to use this is actually an injustice to many organizations and to people that have the ability to do so. So the information for this will be shared across all the community links and the platforms. Sam, I think you have the links and the promo codes that we can share, but we thought that we just like to share this and make this and formalize our relationship on the milestone or the anniversary of Bounce Back Philippines. So thank you.
Yep, thank you, Dishan. When we were discussing, I told Dishan, the cost of the platform should not be more than a Netflix subscription monthly. So,
Yes. Hi, Sam. We are last 2 minutes to closing. Unfortunately, this panel,
yeah,
and
I
I'm
know, I know.
sure. Yes,
Thinking
I'm
back,
sure our. Yes. Go ahead, Sam.
yeah, thank you. So I saw Doc, Jonathan Dayao is there also, supposed to join this panel. I said, hey, Jonathan, it's full, but he's there already waiting for us. So, but
Yes.
again, any message to our community? I'm sure you've given hope and you've given inspiration to people to pursue careers in technology, careers in data analytics, and to utilize tech to improve their businesses, like through BET and other systems. So again, one round, please. It's your how they will shine as one through tech, through innovation and through business excellence. So beginning with Maylene.
Alphabetical talaga palagi, ah. All right. Okay. Since it's the International Month of Women, the month of March, I would like to say something for the women who are women viewers, specifically the mothers. Please, if your daughter, your son, or specifically your daughter is inclined into STEM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics, please do encourage your daughter because we need to have more women in STEM. We need more women in technology, and they are very good in this field. So to eradicate gender barriers, we would like to encourage more women in technology. Thank you.
Thank you, Maylene. Shout out to Carlo Subida, the president of ITAP, is watching right now. So, hi, Carlo.
Hi, Carlo. Nice to know that you're watching and tuning in. All right,
Yeah.
go
Hi,
ahead.
Carlo.
Ted,
Thank you, Mylene, for that one. Okay, one last round for the rest of our leaders. Go ahead.
Ted naman. Yeah, Ted.
Okay, so again, thank you so much for inviting us here, Sam. We're so grateful for being a participant in the Bounce Back program. And I just want to end with, this last year has been a unique experience for everyone, which I think no one has gone through for the past 100 years. And I want to just, I don't know if you listen to this. It's called TED Talks. So TED Talks is a very popular program, and I love it. And there's an author there. Her name is Angela Duckworth, who speaks of grit, grit, who mentions that tough times don't last, tough people do. And that's what I want to finish this discussion today, that we just have to be very resilient in our endeavors and be very passionate about our work. And it will last. It won't last forever, and we will overcome it, and success will happen eventually. And again, thank you so much for your time today, and appreciate us being invited to this session.
Thank you so much, Teddy. All right, let's hear it now from hi, Colleen. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I completely agree with what's been said, and Teddy, you're right. It's not going to last forever. The bounce back is really about mindset, and so I really applaud the initiatives that are underway. I would just end by saying, let's make this the start of a very successful conversation. I can't resist just sort of directing you to how to engage with us at AAP. We're on Facebook. We have a public forum. It's very active. You can also find us at aap.ph. And then for Global Chamber, we're at globalchamber.org. I wanted to just also thank my friend Deshan for calling in all the way from Johannesburg, and for being so generous, actually, in what he's offering in terms of access to the toolbox. This is something that Global Chamber hardly endorses. And so thank you all for including us in the event today, and congratulations on your anniversary.
Thank you so much, Colleen, Christy. And Dishan, your name had been mentioned already, so you're the next one.
Thank you. You know, I think the most important three words that we take out of this, especially in the past year, is to learn, unlearn, and relearn. I think through this, we've learned to do things a certain way pre-pandemic, and I think post-pandemic, we've had to unlearn it and had to relearn exactly how to work around this. And we've seen that with the embracing of technology, for example, that there is light at the end of the tunnel, and not forgetting that we need to collaborate. And that's the most important thing. And this is what this has taught us. And, again, I speak of why it was such a great synergy to be involved with Bounce Back in the Global Chamber, is because that's our mindset, is to collaborate and to share the openness of communication and to not be selfish with that, right? And that will all boil down to the economies and the communities being uplifted, and prosperity actually being realized again in the business world, knowing that we're all on this journey together, and that there is light at the end of the tunnel, and that we're doing our best to try and ensure that we are trying to sustain organizations or careers moving forward.
Yep, thank you, Dishan. Very nice. That's great. Michelle to close,
Yes.
right? So,
Yeah, I nothing more to add to the awesome greetings and also advice to everyone. I echo also the rest of the panel when they say that there's just optimism, a positivism around the panel, and I hope that everyone in the audience can feel that. Truly, we should be bouncing back, regardless if it's one more year. Hopefully not, but definitely maybe my last piece of advice also to those who are possibly struggling in the business, or maybe as individuals, please, as Dishan mentioned, there's a lot of time to learn and relearn new things. And just a segue to the AAP, there's a lot of competencies out there for the digital space. And I hope that you take advantage as well of these times when you're at home to just get online and look at new things that are freely available, open source, and just try it out. Reach out. There's a lot of communities like Bounce Back PH, AAP, ITAP, who are here for you to help to help you bounce back. So yeah, thank you.
awesome.
Yay,
Let's have
awesome.
a
Thank
group
you.
photo because we miss Michelle. So, Sean, can you please take our photo? Okay, so heart to heart. So this is my inset, di ba?
Heart.
So,
Thank you so much. I
thank you so
really
much,
enjoyed being with you. Again, my second home is IT, and thank you guys for being here. Sam,
Yep.
fantastic moderation on your end. Congratulations, Kuya Sam.
Thank you,
Sino pa?
Sam. Very good. Thank you.
So that we can meet them also. We're adding them to the stream now. Say hi to them. Our
Yes.
friends from the Philippine Computer Society, a bit older sa ITAP ng konti. So, Doc Jonathan is here. And where's
Hi,
Edison?
Doc.
There's Edison. Oh, there you go. Edison's the president of PCS. There you go.
Carlo here.
Yep, Engels is from NADPOP. He's our CTO and one of our conveners. So, hi everyone. So, let's take the tech in this. Oh, this is a nice one. So, can you also
Nice one.
taken? One more photo. So, yeah. Okay, thank you very much, guys. So, gusto niyo iwan ba?
Hi.
Kwentuhan. I'm now with the,
Thank you.
the Geeks Den of PCS, NADPOP. We're waiting for Tito Averia. So, thank you very much, AAP, ITAP Global Chamber. Dishan, thank you for dialing in from South Africa, bro. Okay, let's talk about our BET rollout. Okay, so thank you very much, guys.
Thank
Happy
you.
weekend, everyone.
Take care. Stay safe, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Take care.
Congratulations, bounce back.
Congratulations. Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Everyone. Bye, JB. I'll be in touch.
Bye, yes. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. JB, thank you. Thank you, Sam. Bye-bye.
To our community leaders, contributors, partners, volunteers, etc., we are towards our last panel for today, and without any more delay, Sam is mostly engaged with them. Introduce them again, Sam.
So, ang dami kasi natin communication channels, di ba, no, Doc Jonathan, no?
Yeah.
Meron kami sa Viber, meron kami sa email. So that's why, magandang hapon, bros. I mean, on a Friday, on a normal day, dapat nasa happy hour na tayo. No? But
yeah.
Again, thank you for attending our first birthday party. Sabi nga nila. So, simulan natin kay Edison. Edison, bro, ganda ng pangalan ng company mo. Talagang correct to. You've seen hear the discussion today. We're talking really about, we'd like to inspire our community to seriously look at digital transformation through technology. Kasi lumabas na sa survey na pinakita natin sa Cisco, 20% of them, they don't know how to start. So, Edison, you have a very successful technology company. You're an entrepreneur yourself. At the same time, you're heading, PCS ba yung pinaka-senior sa mga associations? Kaya, more than 50 years old.
Correct. I think we're 54 this coming April.
54 now. Edison,
54 years.
4 years ka na ang presidente or 3 years ang PCS?
I think turning 3 or 4 years na nga. Kasi parang because of the pandemic last year, we're supposed to have election last year. Mm-hmm. So na-extend ulit tayo for another year.
Correct. It's like ITAP din, yung nangyari. Oh, bro, share naman your bounce back story. So I'm sure, di ba, you were also taken by surprise like all of us of the pandemic, di ba? And you have a software company. So share naman, baka may matutunan yung mga natin, community members natin on your experience on how you're able to bounce back from the pandemic.
Sige. Actually, for last year, I think as we all know, lahat naman ng, what they call this, like mga employees, even mga businesses, they struggle, especially the early part of the pandemic. With our company, Red Cross Solution, isa rin kami sa natamaan. So, most of our clients, actually not most, some of our clients, they trimmed down some of the project. So I think advice to everyone, I think with things like with this pandemic, may mga changes. So I think tuloy lang eh. With mga problems naman comes another opportunity. So madami mag-open ng mga opportunity for companies. So like with Bounce Back Philippines, ang dami ngayon na nag-open ng mga startup businesses, so mostly food. So siguro what I can suggest lang to everyone, if hindi yung existing na may nawala, definitely look for something na under your normally sinasabi nila under yung interest or yung hilig. More than that, siguro I think something that you have to look into as well on the things na you're good at. So comes like yung magaling ka magluto. So that's something na something that you can explore.
Yeah, thanks Edison. Salamat. And with us also, ito maganda yung kwento ni Doc Jonathan eh, di ba? Galing siya sa corporate. Pero naging entrepreneur siya, di ba? So, Doc, pakishare naman yung experience mo. Si Edison kasi talagang entrepreneur na. Ikaw naman galing ang corporate. You decided to become an entrepreneur. So, pakikwento naman yung journey mo na yun.
Yeah. It's one of those itch, Sam. Like if I don't do it, and you know this very well, right? If you don't do it, I don't wanna like for the rest of my life regret the fact that I didn't do it. No, so coming from corporate, I basically retired to open up my own business. So it's an online business. What I have are reviewers online. It's quite fortunate that it wasn't hit by the pandemic. That by itself was not hit by the pandemic, but my other projects were. No? So that's the problem that I had. And up to now, because of this, because it involves a lot of people, a lot of coordination, and some of my teammates had to focus on other things. So we had to regroup, no? And we have to wait for a while rather, no? So ang saying ko nga dyan, when there's a storm, the fisherman mends his nets. So that's what we're doing right now. So we're working on our infrastructure. We're looking at our applications. We're making it better. But to ensure that when the face-to-face sort of setup comes around, we're ready for it. I'm referring to a different venture that I was looking at. No, maybe it's surprising that I'm speaking this way because my other venture that I was looking at was earlier. There was some conversation about K to 12. Yeah. And this new venture that I was actually ramping up is actually teaching children, kindergarten actually, to learn how to do programming.
Wow.
That's very difficult in a situation where you cannot do face to face with children, kindergarten. Imagine it's very difficult. No, so it that's the difficulty that we are facing right now. It's very different. Like let's say if we're talking about kinder to grade 12, it's very different if you're talking about grade 12 students. No, they can do online. They can they can look at some of the solutions that are available online, but not for children. In fact, the way I see it, the most affected by the pandemic are those who are in the kindergarten. No, kindergarten to let's say grade 2, because you know very well that kindergarten is their entry to a different world. But since they do not have the classrooms and all of that, then they lose that opportunity. No, so I retired, opened up my business. Okay naman. I mean, it's something that I enjoy, but I also do consulting work. So it's still that, a bit of everything still going on. I mean, it's a family business, so it just keeps going on. No? However, when the pandemic came, other business ventures and projects, well, was actually put on hold, or it's moving quite slowly. That's why I looked for other avenues to be involved. I'm very active with PCS, and we open up I'm very active with another organization, which is the Computer Science Teachers Association. No, and this is the thing that I say: when there's a storm, the fisherman mends his or fishermen mends their nets, right? So ganun din yon. CSTA, we're just preparing it so that we get computer science teachers focusing on K to 12. When we're ready, we just keep rolling. So remember, congratulations pala on your anniversary, no? Because like when we talked like several months back, I'm so appreciative of the things that you're doing in Bounce Back kasi talagang ito ang kailangan ng mga young entrepreneurs and the whole Filipino community to be able to really bounce back to this.
Doc, meron din tayong educator community. So almost same number din ng ating entrepreneur community, 60 plus thousand sila. So tamang-tama yung ginagawa mo to benefit. Baka gusto mo magdala tayo ng content for them, no? I-complement natin yung ginagawa ni Yusik Alain ng DepEd, no, sa DepEd Commons. Kasi wala yata sila ng technical courses eh. So perfect.
Definitely. Kasi the reason why I went into that is my advocacy is to be able to implement computer science in K-12. This is being implemented in other countries already. Philippines, dapat gawin natin yan.
May nakikita lang connect. Prior to this one, 2 panels before, yung women, no, connected women. Hindi kaya baka pwedeng turuan natin ng sabay si Mami saka yung mga students nila. Like, for example, si JV, yung kanyang mga kids are growing up. So, para sabay silang matututo. So,
that is correct, Sam. That is correct. I think that's the approach that is going to happen. Si Mami, si Daddy, kasi that's what's happening now, right? So the children are at home and the family is actually really very much involved in the education of children, right?
Yep. Hi, Doc Jonathan. Hi, Sir
Hi.
Edison. Nice to see you again. In fact, in the aspect of education, I was just sharing with my dean that I'm passionate about education, especially during the pandemic, because um, we are homeschooling our 7-year-old son. But during the pandemic, we decided to homeschool Ate Angelica. So she came from traditional progressive school, and right now, I think it's for us, it is the perfect setup for us. Especially all curriculum are now virtual. Yeah, we're connected to Catholic Filipino Academy Homeschooling Center, just to share with you. Yeah.
Okay.
Si JB, passer din ng LET yan. So, she's a licensed teacher. Di ba, JB?
Really, JB?
Alam niya Sam yung nung bata pa ako, medyo matanda na si Sam. So, alam niya yung growth process ko sa education. Yes. Not too many people know about it, but I am a licensed teacher. Yes.
Yeah, thanks Doc Jonathan. Ito na, yung hinahanap kanina dun sa Bounce Back Story. So, kaninang umaga, yung better half ni Bro Engel, si Smaggy, nandun sa Bounce Back Stories. Kasi they're the couple who volunteered early. So, sila yung nag-manage ng technology infrastructure ng Bounce Back Philippines. So, yung email namin, sagot nila. At kung ano-ano pa. And especially pagka may request yung mga teacher for training. So sila Engels gumagawa doon. So Engels, share mo naman yung bounce back story din. Si Smaggy, kanina. They live kasi in the 30th floor of one of the biggest condominium complex in the Philippines, no? 10,000 plus residents. So ang dami nilang challenges doon sa kanilang complex na yun. So bro, pakita naman your perspective naman. Kanina narinig namin si Smaggy. So
yeah, hi. Good afternoon, everyone. Unang-una, congratulations, no? Ang bilis ng panahon. Parang kailan lang nag-start lang yung bounce back, no? So, parang yung kwento ni Doc, the pandemic actually forced us to build a lot of things also. So, para pong nagkaroon ng iba't ibang klaseng requirements dahil sa pandemic. For example, the first thing that we were asked for during the pandemic was a secure teleconference solution, which is privacy focused. Ang nangyari po kasi noon, 'di ba, nung nag-uumpisa yung pag-shift natin from physical to online, kung ano yung usually lumalabas sa first page ng Google, yun ang ginagamit ng karamihan eh. So, unfortunately, when it reached critical mass, then the privacy issue started coming out. So it's one of the challenges that we were actually asked to solve. No? We created our own privacy-focused teleconference system, and it was well received. No? So the next request was, Engels, pwede bang high definition yan? Kasi sa command center, gagamitin natin yan, naka-project yan, dapat high definition. So another challenge for us. No? So during this time, we were actually very much enjoying the build process. We were learning a lot of things as we were building all of these technologies. No? Next came the need for massive uh, simultaneous connections. So we were talking about hundreds of thousands of simultaneous connections. So we again had to scale up. No? So in a nutshell, the pandemic actually was an incentive for us to innovate. It was an incentive for us to build things. No? And it was a very nice experience, specifically because most of the people that we work with are makers. No? So they are the makers. Parang kaya nakakatuwa na nasa bounce back tayo kasi this is all about linking people, no? Linkages. People helping people during the pandemic, and it's a very nice experience for us. We, nasa back end kami, no? Tumutulong kami sa NADPA, pero nakikita namin yung mga connections na ginagawa day by day. People are connecting with each other, supporting each other. Kahit na minsan kind words lang, no? Compassion. It goes a long way, especially during this pandemic. Kasi talagang, sabi nga ni Sam, gulpi talaga tayo. Talagang gulpi tayo. And then we really need to come together. No? So, yeah, it's an honor. And we will continue building, Sam, we will continue building stuff for you.
Yeah, thank you. Actually, I really like yung analogy ni Doc Jonathan about us mending our nets, no? Kaninang umaga nagkukwento din kami ni JP, sabi ka, we are all in this storm together with our different boats, no? Some of us have speedboats, some of us have aircraft carriers, iba sa atin katig lang. So as we mend our nets, we also tending to our boats, di ba? Sometimes pagka may tubig yan, we need to bail each other out, di ba? So, timing ko yun na nandito na yung JP, kung akong kuya mo, ito yung kuya ko, si Titus Manuel.
Hi, Titus!
Hello.
Hi,
Good afternoon, guys.
Titus.
Sorry,
Tama-tama
sorry, I cannot make the virtual background work, so you will see the mess behind me. So,
ang galing. Si Titus is both PCS and laptops too. Dalawa yan.
hati sa gitna yan.
Titus, again, we're sharing our bounce back stories eh. So nagsimula tayo kay Edison, no, on how he was able to do a pivot and then to be able to position his company well. Doc Jonathan shared his from corporate to entrepreneur journey. And si Bro Engels ka, yung kanyang yung volunteer work is about bounce back sa NADPA. So all of these are coming together. Pero naman Titos, si Titos napaka-active. Sabi ko, ito yung talaga na he can outrun everyone. So so kumusta? Kwento mo naman sa ating community yung bounce back story.
Well, it's a really puro ups and downs. So talagang stressful and non-stressful too. I realize when you work from home, people do not respect your home. So it's ang tingin nila dyan, that's work wherever they are at any time of the day, Monday to Sunday. So maski gabi yan, pag tinawagan ka, pag sandali lang, hindi sandali lang to, Tito, sandali isang oras yun. So that really becomes an issue, no? It's a good idea. By the way, I'm a senior citizen, as you can see. So I've been locked down sa bahay namin for close to about 300 days. Maybe I can
Hindi naman kahalataan, Sir Titus, na senior citizen ka.
Napakabait
Hindi naman
ni
kahalataan.
Mukha lang 64, no? Anyway, no. So I'm 68, by the way, going 69. So the thing about that one is I realize I am able to accomplish more work from home. Ang talagang biggest challenge ko when I was moving from one place to another is the travel time. I've been telling my wife ko, mas matagal pa ako sa kali kaysa sa kama namin eh. So, that was my experience before eh. And then I spent, meron akong meeting na 1 hour sa Makati. Ang travel time ko 6 hours. Would you believe? People go to that kind of mess almost every other day. So, well, sa akin, I have no complaint about working from home. Recluse kasi ako eh. Sanay ako na walang kumikibo sa akin eh. So, there's no major challenge for me, adjustment period. Ang nag-adjust lang sa akin yung mga pets ko eh. Araw-araw nakikita nila ako. Siguro inisip ko, Titos, meron ka ba talagang trabaho pa? Ba't lagi nasa bahay ka? Kinakabahan siguro sila kung paano ko sila pakakainin eh. But I'm happy with, nasanay na sila, I'm here every time. And my neighbor, and also, by the way, my house is not soundproof. So pag nagkukundak ako ng training program, pati mga kapitbahay ko nakikinig. Pero meron silang libreng training program. Every day talaga naman. But I have no complaint, by the way. I've told this one to my wife. I earn more when I was at home than when I was that I was mobile. And I have no idea why. Sometimes na-embarrass ako sa sarili ko eh. Sometimes I feel guilty. I hear people difficulties in life, and here I am enjoying it. Parang feeling ko, should I be guilty for this one? Kasi mabilis ako maka-adjust eh. Nasanay din kasi ako na work from home because prior to pandemic, we actually told the guys, tamad na kasi ako bumiyahe. Can we just work from home? Kaya man natin gawin yun. There are 12 of us eh. Sabi lang,
Kaya naman eh.
Nakuha eh. Noong una, meron silang konti resistance. Paano yung mga interaction? Nung nag-lockdown yung office, kasi nagkaroon ng case ng virus sa building. Walang makapasok, sinaran talaga yung building. Ang manas dyan, JB, yung mga hindi yung files nila wala sa cloud. Nagsara yung opisina. Nagsara talaga yung opisina. We were blessed. Maybe by a month. Nauna lang kami ng isang buwan. Someone up there loves me. Sam, someone up there really cares for us. Wala akong masabi. When people are complaining, I am not. I always tell, alisin ko ng guilty feeling because I make more money now than before eh. Maybe because ang take-home pay ko mas malaki. Dati kinakain ng travel time, pagkain, tsaka bihis ka.
Yes.
Ngayon may level shoes has been arrested for almost 1 year. Hindi na niya ako kilala eh. So, this really a very brilliant, I wish I can share some more about exciting things in my life, but I need to share some more.
You can. Babalik ka dito, patikim lang to ng community. So.
Yes. So, thank you so much for allowing to be able to speak. Kasi sa akin kasi, no issue. No problem.
Natuloy din, no?
Natuloy din.
You know what, gentlemen? Last night, I was talking to our 14-year-old daughter. I was holding her hand. We were about to sleep. You know what I told her? Sabi ko, Angelica, I'm afraid of something. And she said, ano yun, mommy? Halan, I'm afraid to go back to work. Fizz, sabi niya, but you are always at work. No, anak. I mean, I'm afraid that I will again have to travel and go outside of work and then come home at night. Yun ang kailangan i-adjust natin eh. Yung paano tayo babalik kung wala ng pandemya. Para sa akin, ang pandemic is also a blessing to all of us. The work from home is proving us productive and more efficient. That's from my perspective. How about you, gentlemen? What's your thought about that? Kasi
ako meron pa ako isang secret, no? Someone approached us prior to the pandemic and they asked, how do we solve the traffic problem? And we told them frontally, mag-work from home program kayo. Yung batas kasing ginawa nyo, malabnaw eh. It doesn't really clearly define at it does not force people to go from home. Sabi, hindi, Tito, that will never work. Nag-pandemic. And now it's working. Meron pa rin traffic sa EDSA, pero I don't feel it anymore eh. And the realization is basically, maybe that's what there's somewhere, lagi si someone nagsasabi, there's always a sunshine and every time when there's rain comes, expect a beautiful sunshine pagkatapos. And we saw the sunshine before the cloud had parted. No? Ako talaga, I'm totally blessed. Sometimes naiiyak ako sa gabi. I am not sure, should I be happy with the predicaments of other people while enjoying it? Wala akong masabi. I cannot complain. I love what happened. Everything in my life has been put into place. I even spend more time with my wife na na-enjoy ko na yun eh. Dati pag magkikita kami, nagmamadali ako lagi. Pagdating ko, pagod na ako eh. Ang feeling ko, wala akong silbi doon sa asawa ko eh. I felt so, that was the reason why she married me in the first place, di ba, JB? You married someone because you like to be able to attach to a family member of the wife eh. Ngayon, nagsasawa na sa akin, pwede ba lumabas ka naman para matahimik naman ako dito sa bahay?
Grabe, Titos, narinig ka ng kapitbahay mo, no?
Oo. I have no more secrets to hide. Sa totoo lang. Buti na magkakalang yung mga building na bahay dito, pero they still hear my voice.
Tama. Katabi mo yata si Sis Jen, nandiyan ba? So.
Hindi, kaya malakas ang loob ko dahil malayo siya dito eh.
Correct. Oo. Shift ko lang yung discussion, no? Kasi our topic is about yung technology innovation, data privacy, and cybersecurity. Gentlemen, we're all cooped up at our homes right now, okay? So diyan napunta yung ating, that became our workplace, our study place, etc. Siyempre, alam niyo na kung nandyan tayo, sino yung makikinig, sino yung mag-snip, di ba? Siyempre yung mga hackers. So, any thoughts now, I'd like to share, how do you secure now your homes from hackers, from those who would want to get your data, etc. So, sino ang gustong mauna? So, baka may tips kayo sa ating mga members diyan. So, what to look out for, di ba? Para ma-secure na rin kanilang home technology infrastructure. Okay?
Maybe I should start. If someone is actually, you guys are waiting, maybe I should start.
Sige.
I did this training program on work from home program for a group of people, and I told the guys that if your management, be more realistic. Our homes were never designed for privacy. They were designed for convenience. So the challenge really is be able to put in place something that will prevent hackers from hacking on your life, even hitting you physically. So talagang it's really a challenge, no. As far as I'm concerned, maybe I've been breached so many times, I don't know yet. But it seems no one bothers with me because during daytime, empty yung kalye dito eh. But I don't, as far as I know. So the realization is basically when we are talking about preventing people from hacking us or being breached is something that we cannot prevent. Kaya dapat yung business continuity plan must always be in place. What if you were and somehow someone prevented you from accessing your information because para may denial of service ka eh. So you must be able to branch out to something else, no. Ako, I'm no longer I do not scare myself anymore that I will be breached because ang feeling ko I've already been breached. Because again, there's only because we have limited in some people nga kino-complain nila say paano pag nasira yung computer ko. Ang service namin nasa opisina. Samantalang binigay sa amin first aid. Sinabi ko sa kanya, please do not be hurt with this one, but most likely kung ano ang challenge mo technically nung ikaw sa internet connection, baka gano'n din yung troop mo eh. Baka yun din ang problema ng support group mo eh. So hindi mo makita yung proper perspective at this point in time. How do I defend myself from all these things? But the realization is basically you just have to be prepared to be breached. And when it does happen, make sure that you're properly protected. Your data is intact with you. You can shut down your Facebook account mo. You can shut down your email addresses mo. So social media is down and you can transform yourself into another platform for that matter. So be prepared lang. But preventing it is something of a challenge. Going back again, our homes were never designed for security. They were designed for convenience. That's it. Swerte nga tayo, guys, meron tayong sariling kwarto. How about those guys na nakatira sa mga dikit-dikit na kwarto? Meron silang 4 into a room. And they were forced to work from home. How will these guys manage it? I can see your place, guys. You have enough leeway at the back to be able to enjoy some form of privacy and security. A lot of people do not have that kind of convenience. Maybe 9 out of 10 don't. So talagang we are even we institute a lot of securities in the back. Anything that comes to our mind, hindi siya talaga workable. Because in the first place, our homes were never designed for work. They were designed for staying at home. Convenience talaga siya eh. That is the biggest challenge for NADPAP guys and PCS guys eh. How do you make sure that somewhere along the line you will survive if you were breached? Yun na lang itatanong mo, how do I survive in case I am breached? No longer how do I survive so that I will not be breached? Wala na ganun yung case niya eh. Parang climate change yan eh. Hindi na longer yan, prevention, mitigation, hindi na mitigation eh. It's just adjusting to the weather eh.
Correct.
You have to adjust to the situation as it arises eh. That's where NADPAP comes in. How do you adjust to the situation? It's no longer how to prevent the situation from happening to us. That is no longer That's a wish list that will never happen because we're working from a place that we're not designed to be protected. No, pinilit tayo eh. Marami akong alam sa amin, sinalpak sa ng computer, o magtrabaho kayo sa bahay, ayusin niyo yan ha. Ganun kasimple ang training program, ganun kaikse. Pinadala by Grab yung mga equipment. And that was it.
Set up mo yung network mo. No. Si Edison, I'm sure maraming kwento sa customers niyan. Edison, kumusta yung mga home customers?
Edison, please.
Kwento naman. Thank you, Tito, sa dami talaga yung Tito.
Siguro, ano ba yan natin? Particular siguro din sa security. I mean, we had some, you mentioned kasi yung sa customer namin, may naalala ko before eh. So, in terms of security, nabanggit naman ni Titos, it's not only yung mga router mo, but physically. So, both physically dapat masisecure mo rin yung mga ano mo eh, yung mga I mean, like yung router. I mean, of course, dapat may password and you don't share it with yung mga kapitbahay mo or if ever may mga guests ka. And better if pag may pang-guest ka, dapat hindi mo hinihiwalay mo rin yan eh. So, one instance kasi dito sa one of our client, parang ino-open niya sa lahat, hindi niya sinaseparate yung network for work and at the same time yung pag may mga guest siya. So parang nagkaroon sila ng issue before. Actually, we help them set up nga na magkakaroon ng, I mean, may limit yung mga guests mo, what they can access. So basically yun, I think something very important na magawa natin as part of yung securing yung not only our data but everything, yung lahat access dun sa mga I mean basically yung mga system, yung mga data na pwede mong i-secure. So that's something dapat may separation ka, may tiering ka. These are the things na pwede mo lang i-allow na pwede nila mag-view. So I think yun yung pwede kong idagdag dun sa mga nasabi ni Titus.
Yeah, thank you, Edison. Ito scenario naman to kay Dr. Nathan. Doc, di ba in some families, sinishare yung laptop, di ba? So, company issue, for example, since na may e-learning yung anak nila, hinihiram ng what are the risks of those types of arrangement pagka ganun yung kasi di ba, mahal eh. Sometimes out of stock yung mga laptops ngayon eh, di ba? Kasi nga, dami po nabili. So, when you share devices at home, di ba, laptop or tablet or even the telephone, what are the inherent risks present there, Doc? So,
yeah, I think that's very dangerous, no? Especially sometimes we get data from the office, we bring it home. Sometimes in our office setup, we generally have VPN to be able to protect ourselves. So we go through that VPN panel. Now, if we have our children working on their particular projects, so obviously, they'll just go through the internet. They're not going to run the VPN client, just go through the internet. So when that happens, that becomes a vulnerability. No? So that's quite dangerous. Although it's very restrictive naman, hindi naman lahat ng mga families can really afford, right? But we have to bear in mind that these are issued by the company also, and it should be used for company purposes, right? So I think maybe at the start, it's good to do that, maybe sharing, but we have to be very cautious that when we share our laptop with our children, we actually look at what they're doing, look at what websites they are visiting, make sure that when the school prescribes to visit this particular website, we need to give them guidance. The web, you can go anywhere, right? And maybe at home also, if you have a DSL, miski naman dyan sa fiber or sa DSL setup mo, pwede mo naman i-block yung mga internet sites that are, something that you don't want your children to be going to, right? And you can do that in your standard DSL setup. So you need to have that hygiene, set up your network properly on your laptop and on your desktop. Make sure that you've got antivirus set up in place. When you go to the office network, syempre, make sure that you go use the VPN. Data that you put in your laptop, maybe I will not advise that to be keeping your data, office data in the laptop, but put it in the server, in the office's server. No? When we started in our organization 2016, where everything is in the cloud. Ganon. So, and we all work from home. Ganon naman yung setup namin, no? So anyway, going back to what you're saying, Sam, I think those are a few things that need to be done, no? So set up mo yung laptop mo properly. If you're sharing it with your children, make sure that you monitor and you mentor and you guide them as to the sites that they visit. You make sure that you have data. The data that you put in your laptop are data that I mean, I would strongly advise not to. I mean, that you become so vulnerable, because sometimes you'll be out of the VPN and all of that, no? But going back naman dun sa kay JV, noong nag-start kami nung company namin, pala'y kami, work from home. Ang nami-miss ko lang, yung talagang face-to-face kaming grupo. No? So, yun talagang magkakasama kami, nagtatawanan, nagkwekwentuhan. Yun lang ang nakaka-miss. Kasi ako talaga ayokong lumabas. As you can see, itong buhok ko, ang haba-haba. And ganun din yung mga kasama ko. I mean, as much as possible, we avoid going out. No? Ganun. But pagka nawala na, palagay ko, tuloy-tuloy lang to. JV, Sam, tuloy-tuloy lang to. It's gonna be this setup. It's working.
Yeah, definitely.
It's working. To some extent, no? Maraming naapektuhan. So maybe it's wrong for me to say that it's working. But to some extent, merong nagwo-work, but marami ring, maraming trials and iterations tayong dapat gawin. Like katulad yung sinabi ko kanina sa mga bata, sa education naman yun, sa mga bata, nami-miss nila yung face-to-face. They're not able to linger around with other children. Miski naman yung mga children who are homeschooled, there are opportunities. Di ba? In the past, may mga opportunities, may community sila and then they get together because everybody appreciates and knows that that's very important. The real connection is very important.
Correct. Thank you, Doc.
Yep. Thank you, Doc.
Yeah, may share ako ng anecdote, no? I think in addition to the parents, we have to train them. Yung ating mga ates kailangan i-training din sa cyber security hygiene, no? Share ko lang yung kwento dun sa brother ko, yung sa bahay niya. So, dun sa village nila, siya sa kanya yung pinakamalakas kasi noon siya nagka-fiber. Tataka siya pagkagabi, ang dami umaali-aligid dun sa kanilang bahay, no? Yung mga dalang telepono. Yung pala, share nung kanyang yung password ng kanyang wifi. So, nandun sa, siguro
very generous.
For the family, it's involved everyone, di ba? Everyone who connects to your network, kailangan sila maturuan, di ba? Na to give their, of course, the credentials ng inyong internet. Nandito pala sa ating si our founder Jason De La Rosa. So mamaya siguro after na makipag-picture taking tayo with Jason, no. So si Engels naman, Engels actually teaches a lot eh. So Engels, what are the dynamics now, di ba? So sometimes kasi your students actually ask you to go there, di ba? Yung we had one class recently sa isang government gusto nila nandun ka. But any thoughts on e-learning? I mean, Udemy has boomed, di ba? Coursera, etc. So, Khan Academy, di ba? For kids, ang dami talaga online sites. But still, people ask for face-to-face training. So, any insights on that on e-learning as a whole during the pandemic?
Yeah. Actually, malaking bagay yung sinasabi mo sa amin. People are still looking for connections. For example, it's easy to determine which materials can be taught online and which need to be taught face to face. For example, if you need laboratory or practical exercises which require team dynamics, then mostly people will appreciate the face to face. We are training actually people in machine learning and artificial intelligence. It's working online because this is mostly technical and more of mathematics and algorithms. But we found out that when we are asked to train people in terms of technical skills like administration, then the face-to-face training works better. Kasi ang nangyayari doon, yung dynamics ng group, no, you get a feel of the group of the how they are working, no. So pareho lang naman natututo eh. I mean, at the end they both learn, but I guess the efficiency of learning is higher for face to face, specifically for certain topics, no. Like sinabi nga ni Doc, no, kinder, hindi pa nga sila marunong ng ano eh. I mean, ang tinuturo dapat natin sa mga bata ay yung interaction sa isa't isa eh. Madali namang makuha yung knowledge, no. So we're praying that the time will come when certain aspects of education can be safely done face to face. But yeah, everybody, you are right, no. This will stay itong ating new normal because it works, no, and because yeah, we are more productive because of it, no. Sam, pwede bang magbanggit lang ako ng mabilis na dalawang lang. Gusto ko lang dagdagan sana yung kwentuhan kanina. Ayun. Ano lang to, very quick. Number one, we noticed, no, based on our studies that spam and phishing emails dramatically increased in April last year. Compared to 2019, April was the lowest in terms of attempts, no, at spamming people. Pero nung dating ng pandemic, talaga makikita mo sobrang daming spam. Hindi natin yun eh. People might have lost their jobs and they are desperate. And so they turn to those kinds of methods, no? Pangalawa, banggitin ko na rin lang yung sinabi mong sa bahay ng kuya mo. Actually, gusto ko rin i-point out lang na most of the routers, no, the Wi-Fi routers that are issued by the telcos, they have the default SSID. And you can get the password by just jumbling the default SSID. So yung mga words doon sa SSID, iikutin mo lang, makukuha mo na yung password. So anyway, ang point ko dito, siguro just to wrap up, no, my part. Meron lang akong dalawang recommendation actually, again, dagdag ko lang, no, sa mga recommendations na nauna nating kasama for both families and businesses, no, in this new normal. And it might sound different from what is expected, but dalawa lang siya. Una, zero trust. In this day and age, let's assume the posture of zero trust. Ibig sabihin, wala tayong pinagkakatiwalaan. Pag may dumating na email, hindi automatic na pinagkakatiwalaan natin galing siya sa pinanggalingan niya. Pag may dumating na text, hindi natin iisipin galing siya sa pinanggalingan. So we always question everything before we proceed, no? Yun yung una. And then lastly, let's try to get back to reading. Let's try to develop a generation of readers. One of the main reasons why cyber security is very hard is because most people no longer read. So pwede naman agad makita. In the case of the email, for example, may phishing email na galing daw sa PhilPost. Your package will not be released if you don't pay 14 pesos. Click here to release your package. Kung nagbabasa lang yung recipient, malalaman niya na ito isang phishing attempt. So again, confluence to eh. Ang nangyari talaga, na-shorten yung reading reading comprehension or yung ating pag-focus dahil siguro sa internet, no? But hopefully sana makatulong, no, na kung maibabalik natin yung pagiging readers ng mga tao, then definitely cybersecurity, privacy, this will be easier for everybody.
Yep. Yun, thank you, Engel. So sinusenyo na kami Edison, Jonathan, Titus, share nyo naman yung plans ng Philippine Computer Society and then how our members can benefit from it. So baka yung mga coming kayo, activities, courses. So yeah, please do share lang. Yeah.
Siguro I can start, siguro then Titus or Jonathan can elaborate on yung mga details. Siguro just to let everyone know, yun, we are coming up with mga training and certification program. Hopefully we can finalize everything, especially the schedule. And hopefully soon. I mean, we have this event this coming tama ba ako, Titos? March 24 and March 25. Hopefully by then, yung details about the training and certification program na binubuo namin will be announced as well. Siguro some details, Titus or Jonathan, you can share siguro.
Oh, Boss Titus, ikaw na mag-share. I-unmute mo yung sarili mo.
Marami actually, one thing that we actually first did was to be able to transpose ourselves from the physical to virtual management. Talagang nagkaroon kami ng transition that from this point on, it becomes virtual. Kaya nagkaroon PCSB, virtual na eh. Platform yun. We did not change PCS. It's just the platform. The second part, we're looking for something to identify kung sino yung PCS. That was the key there. And we realized one of the things that we're focusing on is the development of the professional. An IT person as a professional. That means yung non-technical skills. Yun ang isang unang tinignan namin, nakabuo kami ng 10 eh. And that becomes a what we call a parang centerpiece ng PCS. Because we cannot compete with the other guys as far as technology is concerned. Masyado marami yun eh. But for non-technical skills, maybe a few only of them understands what it takes for an IT guy to become good, not only in the technical aspect, but also on the non-technical. Particularly, understanding business acumen is one. Even yung appreciation ng kontrata is another one. Even yung project management is another one. Even managing conflicts is another one. And where did this come from? We have complaints from management, sinasabi, yung aming technical guy, pag nasalita, parang German, English naman ang sinasabi, hindi namin maintindihan. The realization is basically there is very limited training program on an IT that was really confined into kanyang technical position lang. One more thing, for as long as you remain a technical person, you will never go up or in a position where you want to go. Because ultimately, as you grow, napapansin nyo, as you grow up in the ladder of success, your technical competence wanes. People management comes out of the blue. Importante yun eh. So ultimately, that's where we actually going to be liked or recognized for as far as the non-technical competence ng PCS. Of course, we still have the InfoSec portion. And of course, we're going to hahatakin namin sa Hakoba to speak about foundation, importante, privacy by design. Foundation yan of everything eh. So dapat yun ang importante siya. Even if yung risk management is another one. So marami po kami nakapila, but the most important part is we're so excited about this one, we refuse to grow old. Ang feeling nga namin, nag-uumpisa pala kami, this is our birth year. Di ba Ryan, di ba Doc Dayaw, no? Di ba Edison, no? Parang bagong panganak kami. Yun ang feeling ko talaga ngayon eh. I told my wife, I have never been so excited in my life. That when I wake up in the morning, natatandaan ko pa yung program pinag-usapan namin kagabi. Nakalimutan ko, may asawa pala ako sa tabi ng kama ko. Talagang ganun ka-exciting eh. But basically, you have to find something exciting to be able to battle in boredom. You're stuck in a home. There must be something a little more powerful that will make you live and look forward to the future. I have found it. We have found it. And I'm so excited about this one. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Titus. Doc Jonathan, parang na rin to, closing messages. So, Doc Jonathan, anything to add?
Yeah. I think Titus covered a lot with what he said related to the programs of PCS. Although I'd like to say maybe that PCS is also, just to add to what Edison mentioned also, PCS is going on a digital transformation. That's what it is, really. And the term that Titus and the gang and Edison is using, it's PCS 5.0. So we're putting in the infrastructure in place to be able to reach out to the members of PCS. So also we're putting in the materials in place to be able to provide our commitment to train as many members as we can. We're not just targeting on the IT professional. We're looking at professionals in general, no? And these are some of the things that we are doing, and yeah, I mean, something to watch out for as we go and progress in the things that we do in PCS. And obviously, yung mga links natin, our partnerships, you know, working together, because there are a lot of parallels in the things that you're doing, we are doing, you know, there are a lot of things that we are doing together, and we should actually just get together and do it for the Philippines.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Jonathan. So, yan, Engels. So, si Bro Engels also gearing up for the first batch ng 100 scholarships that NADPA was giving everyone up to Bonds of Philippines, no? So, pinadaan lang natin itong anniversary, but starting Monday, ano yan, we're going to identify the first 25. Kasi yung 100 na yun, ang plano natin is that we'll train by 25. Yung model ng NADPA to share with you, the training and certification program is just the beginning of the relationship. We won't be leaving them behind. O pasado ka na, ha? Etc. We're going to shepherd them until they really become proficient and then apply what they have learned in their businesses. Or if they want to pursue a data privacy career or a cybersecurity career, matutulungan natin sila. So similarly, excited to also see the PCS program. Talagang, this is what our country needs. Yung kanina, prior to this, to the panel, talagang nag-resonate doon. This is the time when we really need to improve ourselves, you know, to educate ourselves. So, ayan, education din yan ni Bro Engels yan. Pakidagdagan ng Bro Engels yung ano natin doon. Further excite our community, di ba? Ano pa ba yung bibigyan natin sa kanila kung sa training?
Yeah, thanks, Sam. Actually, we're very happy to announce that we will be pushing the NADPAP Academy this year. So, we have a lot of courses, training programs lined up. Again, sabi nga ni Sam, no, to help equip and support privacy professionals. So let's just work together. Ang ganda nitong synergy ng ating grupo, Bounce Back. Thank you so much. We're here to support always. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for that support. Thank you for that support, Engel.
Edson lang. So, siguro let's have a photo, everyone. Oh.
As we are preparing for our photo, we have to bring back Edison. For our community members and leaders listening right now, just a summary of 3 points. Technology is defined for our productivity, but we need to properly use it and protect it. Sobrang na-struck ako sa sinabi ni Engel kanina. Hard to hear, but true. Zero trust on what you digitally get. Be discerning and wise. Lastly, we are in a marathon of the virtual race. Let's pace up and adjust because this new normal will stay. Okay? So we're ready for our photo opportunity. And we are being joined by Jason.
So, you know, Jason, napuputol kang konti pero okay lang. So, heart daw, heart.
Okay lang.
So, how we shine as one. So, yan.
Paano ba? Heart?
Teka, malitong nga show ko. Yan. Mali yung yan.
Yeah.
There. BBPH not pa in PCS. Okay?
Yan.
Okay.
Okay, no? Alam mo, thank you very much. Siguro after a year from now, ang dami na magagaling na tech sa Bounce Back Philippines community, ano? Grabe, can you imagine na, they'll be fulfilling demand already.
Yeah.
Ano siya sa Women Connected Women, di ba, JP? AI assistance, no? Di ba yung pinag-uusapan ng with Connected Women? Galing. Galing talaga.
And Sam, I have to recognize Sean Jacoba. Talaga namang you're building the next generation. He has been managing the back end of this event entirely. Sean, congratulations in the tech team. Younger generation na yan.
That's a new job, yung web stream manager. Actually, so emergency pandemic, correct. So, si Tito
Maraming
Zoom
salamat.
Okay, thank you everyone. Okay, thank you Edison.
Everyone.
Thank you, Engels. Salamat. Thank you for attending our first anniversary. Looking forward to year 2, but in between that, marami tayong gagawin, So, looking forward to that. So, yung commitment namin nila Jason, 10 million, kailangan namin tulong nyo. Para matayin yung 10 million. Filipinos, di ba? On all things about, not just entrepreneurship, not just about tech, but really how to bounce back as a complete, fulfilled human being. So, JV, you'd like to, to segue and
Oh, okay. First of all, thank you. And that's the last but not the least panel of the day. Ever since this morning to now, we've had several panel, but I am really happy and grateful for all of your time, talent, and treasure. Morning segment, we were able to cover the current scenarios today, MSMEs trends, and bounce back stories with fiery, passionate entrepreneurs. In the afternoon segment, oh, I love this segment because I threw the hat of a host and I wore the hat of a panelist. I joined the Women Advocacy Group and Ruth from Connected Women with Michelle from WSW Women Supporting Women. Happy International Women's Month. We also tackled business IT, and that was a jam packed panel as well. Technologies, innovation, along with entrepreneurship. Lastly, is about data privacy, tech innovations, and Sir Tito saying na nag-e-enjoy siya, na hindi siya nakastay sa kalye, kung hindi nasa bahay siya ngayon, being productive and spending more time with family. Morning segment, afternoon segment, every good thing has its end. Happy birthday, Bounce Back Philippines, with more than 1 million subscribers or members. Sana po mamayagpag pa ang ating komunidad. Today, more than ever, we need to remain resilient, supportive, open to serve others so we can all bounce forward. Let's remember, rise up, encourage, bounce back. At this point, we would like to call our founder, our champion, our captain. Hi, Sir Jason De La Rosa. Please join us as you culminate our event today.
Hi, JV and Sam. Grabe, nasa back end lang ako the whole time and sobrang okay talaga. I mean, I can see a lot of collaborations and partnerships that's going to happen starting next week or starting tomorrow. Magkakaroon ng ang dami activities na mangyari dahil sa dami ng partners natin. And this Bounce Back PH is all about recovery and rising up above. No, you don't have to just recover. You have to be better than ever before. Yan yung tagline natin be better than ever. No? That means this is an opportunity since ang dami na nating natutunan noong 2020 na ang dami palang problema na pwedeng isolve ng mga entrepreneurs and ng mga SMEs. Okay? And solutions that can help us prepare for future pandemic or future problems like this. So ang daming innovation na pwede mangyari. And some 10 million is a big number, but with the help of JV and all the rest of the SME community,
TCS,
I think
Top AAP, our friends from the
everybody, all the associations, all the organizations, connected women, we can make a difference and talagang impact ang hinahanap natin. And after this anniversary, sinasabi ko nga sa mga groups, we are in the second wave of bayanihan. Not the virus, but the second wave. We're on to our second year of helping more people and to bring more people to become heroes and bayanis. Yan. And speaking of bayanis,
yan, Bro Jason, marami naghihintay kung sino yung award.
Ito na talaga, yung awardee.
All right.
Do the honors.
Okay. So, because this, we are going to give itong award na to, Magiting na Bayani Award. Okay. We chose this group to be the Magiting na Bayani Award because during the pandemic, they really pushed hard, gave up a lot of things, gave up a lot of their time just to help thousands and thousands of people. Actually, this is in collaboration with Bounce Back, no? And they were able to put together 150 million pesos worth of donations and help in barangays nationwide. They also sold personal belongings just to put up schools in the provinces. Okay, so they really deserve this award, no? I'm sad that they can't go live today, but they will. They said that they will give us a message. But ito, I will award them the
And,
Magiting na Bayani Award. Yes, yes, JV.
and you did mention how much money did they raise, Jason?
150 million, over 150 million. Yes. Congratulations, guys. So this, wait, this, sabihin ko lang to itong award na to is, ayan, okay. Okay, our bounce back Magiting na Bayani awardees goes to RS Francisco and Sam Versosa.
Yeah.
Yon, for their front row cares campaign with Bounce Back PH. Yan, marami tayong photos na and videos na put up. They went around, without fearing the virus. Talagang namigay sila, nag-put up sila ng educational facilities, computers everywhere. Okay? And they use their influence. Yan.
It's so goosebumping hearing this, Jason. More so, we hope to meet them in person. We hope to see their video message and upload it in our Bounce Back PH online community.
Yep.
Yes.
Amazing.
They're my org mates sa UP sa Mascom. So mga samaan ng mag-aaral sa komunikasyon. So sa Mascomers yan, si Ars, very great, very good actor no college kami, so ang galing. So and they have brought that passion for the arts, in performance. You need to help people. So tuwan-tawa ako. Thank you, Jason. At dinala mo sila sa community natin, no.
So yeah, so let us send a message to Sam and RS who couldn't be here today. Yeah. So Sam, RS, direct RS, maraming salamat na you were able to influence, use your influence to help more people, no? And alam mo, nung nag-webinar sila dito sa Bounce Back, no? We got thousands, we got 200,000 views for that webinar. So many people love them and ang daming mga comments and everything. And sabi nila talagang, lahat ng mga nasa webinar, nagluha, umiyak talaga. And they said, after this webinar, after all of this crisis, this pandemic, they're going to create the biggest street party the Philippines has ever seen. So that you can hug each other, pwede mo nang kamayan lahat ng mga friends na meet mo lang online. We can enjoy life, without the pandemic. So talaga nagluha yung mga nasa webinar, pati sila, and it was so inspiring and so emotional for us. And so Sam and Direct, thank you very much. You deserve this Magiting na Bayani Award from Bounce Back.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
At habang nagkikwento si Jason, naluluha na rin ako. Talaga nga namang ang tagal na nating hindi nag-handshake, walang high five, walang bro hug. Pero
Yes.
one day, someday, by God's time, we will bounce
Definitely.
back.
Definitely. That time will come and we will push hard. The community will push hard to make that happen. It's up to us, the SME community. Yan.
Thank you.
So guys,
JB, Jason, to close, no, see one of our, let's pray for the health of Jelix, one of our Bounce Back co-founders also. Masama pakiramdam ni Bro Jelix, but Bro Jelix, kumusta? So pagaling ka. Okay?
Pagaling
so,
ka,
Jason,
pagaling.
Yeah. Yung closing message or JB, like to wrap up. Very informal naman tayo. Again, thank God for being with us today.
Well, I just want to share with everyone who went live today and who will do a replay how we started early morning at 8 o'clock. Sam Hakoba, our co-founder, led us into a prayer. And you know what he said? He said that, God, this is not our event. This is yours. We are merely your stewards. Allow us to fulfill your grand purpose. That's how I would like to end today. On behalf of the entire People Ignite team and the WSW Women Supporting Women Philippines, it is my joy and honor to be your moderator and host today. I love it because I got to spend time with Ninong Sam, Kuya Sam. And I love it because I got to know a lot of people today. With that, on behalf of everybody, all the team and volunteers, maraming salamat po. Please, let's show our Shine video.
Dali lang, si share ko. Video file daw eh. So, ano ko.
I remember the Shine video, Jason. I counted the statistics. I must have shown it to almost 1,000 audience. And
Wow, thank
this
you.
is a wonderful video for everyone to see. When Sam is ready, let's show our culminating video.
And it just makes no sense. When you're
Jason Del
just
Rosa
about
composed
to
this song, everyone.
rise, that's when you start to fall.
Thank you, guys.
So thank you to Brack and Team Tin.
And you're listening to Bounce Back Radio.
Bye, guys.
When you're
Bye.
just about to win.
Happy anniversary!
Happy anniversary! Bounce Back!
It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be alright. You will see the children play under the big blue sky, 'cause we will always be here to wipe the tears away. Just look up to the sky and pray, 'cause every fear will turn to color. Every rainbow's gonna be shining on you. Every tear will turn to laughter. Every sunlight's gonna be shining on you.
Just when you thought of giving up, a stranger picks you up, takes you out the door.
And when you look to find the stars, your love will lead the way. Hey, just give it some time.
Stars will shine.
It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be alright. You'll enjoy the air you breathe under the big blue sky, 'cause we will always be here to wipe the tears away. Just look up to the sky and pray, 'cause every fear will turn to color. Every rainbow's gonna be shining on you. Every tear will turn to laughter. Every sunlight's gonna be shining on you. Well, we gotta help one another. That's the only way we can every blessing will be shining on you.